Welcome, everyone, to Watson Stadium. Time for Hobbs Eagle football. Live on the radio, Cool 95.7. On the internet, HobbsAmerica.com. And on the YouTube channel. Ty Friend along with Ron Gunner. Tiffany Stuber back at the station tonight. Your Hobbs Eagles starting their district schedule. Game number 5 on this full schedule as they hook up with Las Cruces High. And Ron, kind of ironic, the Eagles playing Las Cruces High at home back-to-back seasons. Last year they played here. Unfortunately, got a loss here on the Watson Stadium turf. This time around, they're hosting the first game of district. Whole different season, whole different ball game. Very important for both teams. Both ranked in the top 10. This is ranked as the #1 game to watch from the Albuquerque Journal this past week. So lots of marbles on the line for this one.
And I'd say that the home field advantage would be for Hobbs, but it has not worked out that way in the last few years. In fact, since 2010, Hobbs has not been able to beat this team, and we're hoping that that will be changed tonight. Of course, that's the reason why they play these games, is because you never know who's going to win or lose until they play the game. And that's what happened last year. It looked like that Hobbs was going to come in strong, but unfortunately the weather was stronger that night. We had to wait till the next day, and for some reason Hobbs just was out of sorts. Maybe it was because of the extra time that they had. And also, speaking of extra time, Las Cruces has also had an extra time. They've had an extra day. They played on Thursday, so they've had more time to prepare for this game. Maybe that'll be a difference, maybe not, but I'm hoping that Hobbs will be able to play just fundamental game, be able to go in here and take the victory.
And if you look at the Hobbs Eagles schedule so far, 3 of their 4 games have been against the top 3 in the 5A division. Of course, Lovington to start the season. They played Roswell a week before last in an overtime loss, unfortunately, and then beat Artesia. So those are some tough squads, 1 through 3 in the 5A, and they are battle-tested. Of course, close game with Artesia, they won. The OT game with Roswell really pushing to the end. And last week's game against El Paso Parkland, 41-37. Now, that thing could have gone to overtime. It was that close of a ball game, but Hobbs really doing the job in the passing department, too, close to 300 yards for Brock Beatty in terms of hooking up with his brother, especially over 100 yards in receiving in that game. But lots of good defensive stops for Hobbs, but you could have flipped a coin in the air to decide the winner of that contest. It was that close, and kind of good to get outside the realm of New Mexico to see some of these Texas teams. Hasn't happened a lot. Sometimes we went to Andrews a little bit, hardly ever Lubbock. I mean, and then other than that, you never got to see Permian or Midland. But right. El Paso over the years, we had a few shots against them. Nice to get a win over against a team that seemed very similar to the Hobbs Eagles last week.
And during my time when I was in high school, we did see Permian, we did see Odessa. But unfortunately, at that time, Hobbs was not known for their superiority in football. In fact, it was mostly a one-sided affair, and Hobbs was just lucky enough to be able to get anything on the scoreboard at that time. But these are different days. We've got a completely different mindset as far as being able to win, and definitely going to be looking out there. In fact, actually, I was looking last week to see against the Matadors, and I was surprised to know that in the third quarter, of course, that was when Hobbs dominated, but they didn't do that until halfway through the quarter. That's when Hobbs started scoring those 3 touchdowns and made a difference in the game. Of course, that was the outcome, was that victory for Hobbs.
Yeah, it was a 20-16 lead at halftime for the Eagles after giving up that safety in the first quarter, and things were kind of getting a little wobbly there. Parkland scored 2 touchdowns in the second and pulled within a close margin there. You mentioned that third quarter, Eagles outscored Parkland 21-7, but Parkland wasn't done yet. They got 2 touchdowns unanswered in the fourth quarter and still lost by 4. So Hobbs able to hold on. We mentioned the great passing numbers for Beatty with 290 in that game, really lighting him up with his receivers, getting a lot of people involved in the passing department. The problem is the running game kind of was submerged a little bit. We know that Amarian Kennedy had been hurt from the previous game against Roswell, kind of a game-time situation, so we knew we would be in full strength. Isaiah Rodriguez went down against Roswell in that OT game as well. Didn't see him, I don't believe, at all in the game. I think he came in for 1 or 2 plays, but that was about it. But right. Kennedy did play. But, of course, when you're limping around, had an ankle issue to deal with, leg issue, that's problematic. But Hobbs still able to use that passing game to overcome that and really light it up. And, again, 300-some yards in that game. The Beatty-to-Beatty connection, especially in that third quarter, 55-yarder and a 26-yarder, both brother-to-brother connections. Right. Open it up. Chavarria also got a 34-yard pass touchdown reception there in the third quarter as well. So all things thumbs up in that third quarter.
Exactly. And, you know, the tenacity that Kennedy has, most kids wouldn't even come out and play with those kind of situations, but he still comes out maybe a little more than he needs. The coach may not like it as much simply because he's afraid he's going to get hurt permanently, and you don't want that happening. Kennedy is a key player for this Hobbs Eagles team.
Now, we always give glory to the offense for winning games, but the defense stepped up in numerous situations last week against El Paso Parkland. They had 12 tackles for loss, and almost half of those coming at the hands of Sammy Baeza, the linebacker. 5 tackles for losses in that game. He had 10 solo tackles and 19 overall, 9 assisted. So definitely stepping up big out of the linebacking core. Very solid LB core this season. Lots of guys participating. And he was not the only guy to get double-digit tackles. In fact, he was not even up till third on the list for those numbers. The top guy wrapping people up was Gustavo Diaz-Castro, finished up with 24 tackles. Half of those were solos, so he was doing a great job of helping teammates out as well. 21 for Tristan Davis, and again, he's week to week. INTs, going after people in the backfield. 21 for him. He had 10 of the solo variety. And again, a couple other guys with double digits. 14 for Jeremiah Mackey. Again, he's a guy that's starting to move up in the ranks on the defensive side. Aiden Gloom, of course, the last couple of weeks, he's emerged as a linebacker. 19 tackles against El Paso Parkland. A lot of opportunities. The team liked to move around a lot, so guys had to be singling in on people, getting some help from teammates. But it was good to see that many people stepping up to help out, getting people down to the turf, and 12 tackles for losses. That's what you want to see. That stuff where you're stopping somebody in the backfield, not giving them the breakaway and shirt tackle garbage, it's getting people up the field.
Exactly, and this defense, as you mentioned, they are definitely playing top-level game today, or at least last week anyway, and I think they're going to do so today. They definitely have to. This Las Cruces team is not a pushover at all. In fact, so far this year or this season, they've scored 133 points. Now, Hobbs has scored 144, so it'll be even. In fact, they've only got, actually, no, not 144, 142. They've allowed 145. So if they win this game tonight, there's a good chance they're going to get in the plus side as far as the points for the season. But, it's going to be very close either way. And it's just me, once again, it's going to hinge on which team can make the fewest mistakes and which team can overcome the mistakes that they make.
We mentioned Aiden Gloom, too. He had an interception against El Paso Parkland. Tristan Davis has had some great games of picking balls up, but he did, too, and that definitely was a big help to put the game in the books last week because, El Paso Parkland knew how to drive the football, and I think it just kind of wear down as the game went along, and Hobbs getting the win in that one. Now, the opponent they're playing tonight, Las Cruces High, has the same record as the Hobbs Eagles. Of course, different opponents. They come in at 2-2, but they played some top-notch stuff in the 6A. Lost to Cleveland recently, 35-25. Cleveland ranked third in the Max Preps poll. But running back Danny Amaro for the losing cause for Las Cruces had all 4 of the Las Cruces touchdowns, but only had 87 yards on the ground. So, he did get the triple digits that you would think a guy in that caliber would have, but 4 touchdowns, and without those, they would not even have been in the ball game. So He's a guy that you have to watch out for. He had a 60-yard touchdown run that he had in that game, and several smaller stuff too. Definitely a team that's going to move the ball too. They like drives where they can continue to push Amaro at you and kind of lull you to sleep. They got a couple of receivers that can step up too, and one that you have to watch out for is Nate Libby, number 3. He's a guy that will go out and get some balls for you, especially the long stuff. So again, every team tends to have a good running back, but Amaro is one of the best in the state. And right now, also playing squads like Volcano Vista. They lost to them, the number 4 ranked team, 27-24. That went down to the wire. Of course, that's a very tough squad as well. Amaro did start off the scoring for Las Cruces High to lead 7-0, a 16-yard run for a touchdown. He had a 16-yard screen pass for a touchdown. He had the first 2 touchdowns of the ball game for Las Cruces. So, that's pretty easy to say that all week during practice, this Hobbs Eagle defense on Coach Stevens has really been drilling. Amaro. Let's keep that target on him.
Exactly. You focus on him too much, though, and you might miss what's going on with everybody else. So, hopefully, though, it will be a simple matter of being able to stop him. Then Las Cruces will have to go to their secondary and maybe their third options, and hopefully Hobbs can be able to stop those. But it will not be easy. I know Las Cruces are going to come out here and try to, shake it up, trying to distract everybody and also try to see if they can stretch out this defense as much as possible to get the ball moving forward and get some quick and easy scores.
That's kind of similarly what we've seen with Artesia. Everybody knows about their passing game, but against Hobbs, you'll see Artesia doing the draw plays, the quarterback keeper, stuff like that, which kind of, like you said, mixes it up. I think you're going to see similarities with this Las Cruces team. Another game they played earlier this season against number 8 Rio Rancho. That was a road game. They beat them 34-21. Guess who scored most of their touchdowns? Danny Amaro. 4 TDs out of the 5 they scored. So he definitely was a go-to guy once again. You also had a 70-yard punt return for a touchdown. So not just on the offensive sets, but also on the special teams. Amaro is the guy in the running department there. So we got to be careful about that. They did start the season against their arch rival from Las Cruces, Mayfield, who has dropped the division the last couple seasons. Beat them 50-7, 28-0 at halftime. The Trojans program has kind of gone down, although they're still competitive in their division now. But I think attrition and the change of the different enrollments down there has really hurt Mayfield. But not really a very good measuring stick to, you beat them by that much, it doesn't really matter. The other games they played, though, tough. And, in fact, 2 trips to Albuquerque for Las Cruces in those games that they did play with those top 10 teams that they had in Cleveland, Volcano Vista, and Rio Rancho. And then only got 1 out of the 3 wins out of that, though. But still, it's going to give you some good resume building in terms of the playoffs, how close you play teams. I just got to think that the Las Cruces squad wants to come out quickly against the Eagles. We got to limit our mistakes. Last year we had, 3 fumbles, I believe, in the first half against Las Cruces. We came back from that, but then gave up 21 points in the third quarter. New team, but they still have the same quarterback in Guardiola for Las Cruces.
Exactly, and, again, it's one of those situations where you got to curtail your mistakes. You got to make sure that you don't do anything that is going to affect the game itself, and of course those halftime adjustments as well. But we look at the strength of schedule, and we see that Las Cruces, even though they've had 2 tough opponents, they're still only at 1.9, although Hobbs is at negative 0.1, which doesn't make any sense to me or you. But there it is. For some reason, that's the strength of schedule, and we got to go from there.
Well, you have to look at one thing. I mean, they're going to have a better strength of schedule just by playing 6A teams that are ranked, and we had 3 of those teams are in the top 10. But you look at Hobbs' strength of schedule, you got 3 teams, 1, 2, and 3 in the 5A division. Now, those don't have as much weight as the 6A, but, Lovington, number 1, Roswell, number 2, and Artesia, number 3. Of course, Hobbs 1 and 2 against those squads, but still very close games in all 3 of those, and unfortunately ended up losing to Lovington and Roswell.
And they're not pushovers.
We got a moment of silence here at Watson Stadium, followed by the national anthem. We'll take a 90-second break and come back live with more Hobbs Eagle football on Cool 95.7 and HobbsAmerica.com. Welcome back to the Hobbs Eagle pregame show live on Cool 95.7 and HobbsAmerica.com and YouTube. Ty friend Ron Gunner with you and Tiffany Stuber back at the stations. Your Hobbs Eagles getting ready to take on Las Cruces. Game 5 of the season, Game 1 of the district schedule here at Watson Stadium. Both teams coming in at 2-2. The Eagles losing to Lovington to start the season and Roswell, and of course getting wins over Artesia and El Paso Parkland last week. The victory so far for Las Cruces has been Mayfield to start the season, and also picked off Rio Rancho, the number 8 seeded team or 8th ranked team in the state, on the road. They did lose to a very tough Cleveland team who's always in the mix for the championship, and then also to Volcano Vista, who's also ranked in the top 5 in the state. Hobbs Eagles right now getting close to 1,000 yards passing, with Beatty, of course, the quarterback, right now at 9-11, so he's 89 yards away from the 1,000 mark. That'd be definitely a good number to get to tonight. And he's got a couple of receivers that are close to 300 yards. In fact, Braddock Beatty, his brother, and Austin Chavarria, both at 287, exactly the same amount of yards and exactly the same amount of receptions, with 19 so far, which is kind of ironic. So definitely if they can get 13 yards each, they're going to move to that 300 mark.
Not only are they equal on their yardage, but they're also equal on touchdown receptions as well, with 5 each. So, yeah, so somebody's going to be walking out here. They may tie them in the end, but they're going to try to see who can get the more yardage, of course, as well as receptions. They're both at 15.1 as well for average, so that's also interesting as well. So they're going to try to see which one can get more yardage. Of course, the favorite could be Braddock.
Of course, the Eagles have about 400 more yards passing than they do rushing this season, 911 versus 515. Right now, the leader is Omarion Kennedy. He's at 265 yards on the ground, and his teammate, Seamus Wright, the sophomore, at 196, just 4 shy of the 200 mark. Both of those guys have scored some TDs this season, 2 for Kennedy and 1 for Wright. So Hobbs would like to pick up their running game a little bit. A lot of teams, the cliche, that opens up your passing game. But right at this point, the running game was just not there last week, 80 yards on the ground. But we did have Omarion Kennedy still nursing the ankle injury. And, of course, Seamus Wright, who's just a sophomore, but he's stepping up big. He gets a lot of double-digit runs for you. He's not an easy guy to get down either. Likes to slip off grabs.
Yeah, and one of the things that I just realized is Brock has been in the past been known to run a lot more. He hasn't run as much this year as we're used to in the past, and he is a strong runner. I've seen him take a couple of players along with him for an extra couple of yards. Maybe it's the coach that just wants to make sure that he doesn't get hurt. But either way, he doesn't run as much. He goes ahead and gets back there and tries to pass. He is known, though, to scramble if he is getting in trouble or if the secondary is covering receivers. But either way, he has been known to throw first, and then if he has to, then he does decide to get on the horse and run.
Eagles defensive lineup, of course, being led by the linebacking core. Leader in tackles, Tristan Davis has 55, 30 of those solo tackles, and 8 for a loss, so he is still a monster, just like we had last year. Likes to pick off balls, too, a couple in one game against Artesia. Definitely a very important part of the squad. A couple of guys at 46 tackles apiece. Gustavo Diaz-Castro, 46, and Aiden Gloom, 46. Both of those guys stepping up big for the Hobbs Eagle D. Should also mention, too, Davis, the junior for the team. He is averaging he's not averaging, but has 5 tackles for losses this season. So he's moving up the ranks as well to help out the Eagles' cause. So far this season as a squad, 35 tackles for loss on the year. Eagles have been able to pick off a total of 6 INTs. Tristan Davis, the leader, at 2. And then you got some DBs, etc. Mora, Hernandez, Diaz-Castro, the linebacker, all have 1 apiece so far this season. So 6 overall to help out the Eagles' defensive cause. They've also recovered 3 fumbles. Mora's picked up 1. Gonzalez has picked up 1. And Sammy Baeza also 1 from the linebacking core. So guys are getting a piece of the pie, whether it be offense or defense. It's not one-dimensional. Hobbs ready for this Las Cruces squad. Eagles going to wear their black tops uniforms and gold bottoms, black helmets, and it'll be the traveling whites for Las Cruces with blue pants and the blue numbers with red trim, white helmets for the Dogs. And we're going to keep calling them the Dogs. They go with the Bulldawgs as the actual logo, but it's the Dogs is what they like to go by, and they spell it D-A-W-G-S. It makes you a little bit more tough, I think, doesn't it?
Yeah, plus I think it's supposed to be more like dogs, dogs, but definitely not just dogs. And actually we had a little discussion about that with TJ. He was not happy with the phonetic spelling about it. He just liked the normal dog spelling, D-O-G-S. So, it's all about preference, and I think that sets them apart, at least in my opinion, with that W in there.
Last year, the Eagles lost here at Watson Stadium. This is a back-to-back home game for the district, 42-27, so losing by 15 in that one. 21 points scored by Las Cruces in the third quarter, put them over the top. That game was tied 14-all in the second quarter. 80-yard pass from Owen Callaway to Isaiah Rodriguez, who's still on the team, of course. 80 yards for a touchdown on that play. Callaway also hit Jeremiah Hawkes for a 37-yard touchdown pass in that contest as well. Solo Armaderas had a 113-yard yards rushing and 2 rushing touchdowns to his name. And then the Eagles finally had a last scoring drive in the fourth quarter, ended up with a 30-yard touchdown pass to Hawkes again. So lots of different opportunities for offense in that one. Again, that third quarter was not the best for the Eagles. Las Cruces ended up with 497 yards of offense. Hobbs at 451. So lots of stuff going on there, close to 1,000 yards of offense in that ball game. And you kind of wonder about the defense on that side of it, but that was last year. Ready for the kickoff. Eagles will be the team to return as we get this one started from Watson Stadium. Game 1 of the district schedule on HobbsAmerica.com and YouTube and Cool 95.7. The ball's going to roll into the end zone hard and fast and goes out the backside for the automatic touchback. Eagles will start at the 20, and the sun has gone behind the horizon, I think aided by those clouds back there, Ron.
Exactly, but either way, no glare on the camera, so that will not be a problem as we get underway. Of course, the every single day we get a little bit further closer to the sunset.
Of course, fall will be starting on the last day of summer is the 22nd on Sunday, so a couple more days left of the summer season. Again, the series record with these two teams, Hobbs is 2-7. So they have kind of the short end of the stick at this point, but again, that's the history of the series. We got a game going on right now. Brock Beatty back in shotgun, trips left, receiver right, has a man with him, Amarian Kennedy on his right shoulder, back of the 15. Man in motion left to right, and that is Rodriguez. He's back in action. The handoff up the middle to Kennedy, tries to go to the A-gap, right side, and gets pummeled hard as a bunch of Las Cruces players in there quickly, not going to even hesitate on that one. As coming in to make the stop was Dallas Davis, the defensive end. And that will be maybe a loss of 1. Looks like they said he did not get to the line of scrimmage, so -1 for Kennedy to start it off.
Yeah, exactly, and that was a smothering tackle right there. Quick loss for Hobbs.
Second down and 11 from the 19. Quick hurry-up offense here. Twins right, 2 receivers to the left as well. Shotgun once again for Beatty. Brings the motion again for Rodriguez, left to right. Glad to see him back informed. 4-step drop, gets chased back, throws it in the left flat, overthrows his receiver through the outstretched fingertips as Amarian Kennedy didn't quite get a chance to get his head swiveled around there to make the catch, heading to the left near sideline in front of the Hobbs Eagle bench. And as he tried to turn his shoulders, the ball was already near his fingertips with his outstretched hands. No real chance to reel that one in for a catch.
And unfortunately, that's one of those situations, but early in the game, that's when you want it to happen so that way you make those adjustments and it doesn't happen again.
No gain, no catch on the play. Third down and 11 from the 19. Trips left, 1 receiver right. Once again, shotgun for Beatty with Kennedy. Kennedy's going to go in motion left side. They'll option out to him on the pitch to the 19. That's where he's going to stop. No gain on the play. Got back to the line of scrimmage. Was already 1 behind the original line. And late flags are flying after the play.
And that could be anything, but it's probably going to be a personal foul on that one.
We'll see what happens.
Unnecessary roughness, and that's usually what happens when you got a crowd like that. And definitely Hobbs was trying to get around that those defensive backs. Just couldn't do it.
Andres Acosta was the man with the wrap-up. A bunch of other white jerseys in there as well. Still waiting for the signal from the Whitecap official. Dead ball foul. It's going to be unsportsmanlike conduct against the defense. That's good news. That's a 15-yard penalty, not an automatic first down, but they only needed 11 with the yardage, so that will be pretty much a first down regardless.
Right, exactly. And if you only need 11, then you can basically call it an automatic first down. That is something that, of course, the coach Lopez is not going to be happy with at all, as he has just given a first down for free to Hobbs just when they stopped him, and looked like it was me 4th down in a punt situation.
And a dead ball foul after the whistle is tacked on to whatever yards you got. That was still no gain, but still 15 will be added to the yards. 1st and 10 now from the 34. Eagles in their territory still. Twins left and right. Beatty going to slow down, look to the sideline to see if we're going to do an audible call here. Coach Stevens with some signals. There's going to be a 6-man front for Las Cruces now. And now make it 7. They're kind of stunting off and on the line. Man in motion, Rodriguez again, left to right. Back to pass, Beatty out of the shotgun. Seam route down the middle, over the shoulder. Overthrows his receiver at the 40 of Las Cruces. In stride that time, getting between the defenders. And he was just kind of reaching out, waiting for it. Austin Chavarria, a little bit too long for his liking.
That looked like Chavarria out there. And again, it's one of those situations caught in stride. It could have been very much a first down and almost a touchdown if he would have gotten past that defender.
So Eagles working on their first reception. They're 0 for 2 right now. 2nd down and 10 from the 34. Trips right, 1 receiver left, shotgun. Beatty's going to fake the handoff, throw the slant route once again to Chavarria at their own 45, but a sizzling throw hits the turf at the H logo in the middle of the field, 7 yards in front of the intended receiver Chavarria. So I don't know if there was happy feet for Beatty, but he might have felt some pressure coming. Just wanted to unload with some mustard on that throw. Way too hard for a chance for a reception.
But on the other hand, it was close to being intercepted as well. Once it got past the receiver's hands, could have been intercepted, but was not. Fortunately, third down.
Big passing down here for the Eagles. 3rd down and 10 from their own 34. Still scoreless here, first quarter. 10:42 remaining with the stop clock. Beatty, of course, doing the shotgun, slapping his hands together. No, it's going to be Seamus Wright takes the direct snap, shaking and shimmying up the left side, and gets outside of the 44. He's going to be shy of the first down by about 1.5 yards, so gets 8. And Seamus Wright, the sophomore, stepped up at the quarterback position, took the direct snap, and went left to the Hobbs Eagles sideline. But now a 4th and 1. Coach Stevens going to make some decisions on this one, and he's going to lead the offensive unit out there. Probably a hard snap count. Twins right and a receiver left. And it's going to be Beatty back deep at the 35, and he is going to punt it away. Keeps it low. Going to take a big roll. Nobody back deep. The Eagles going to get to chase it down by themselves. It slows up at the 2-yard line, tipped, and brought down for the Eagles at the 1. Not sure where they're going to mark this. Eagles did a great job of saving that near the goal line to keep it in play.
It looks like it's going to be
Chavarria, I think, is the guy that got the first swat at the football there at the goal line. Yep, that was Chavarria. He just put his body down on that turf and slapped at it. And he had his teammate down there with him. I think got the recovery, Braddock Beatty. So lots of good action down there late on the play. And nobody back deep for Las Cruces. They just kind of giving up the white flag on that one. And Hobbs making him pay for it, pinning him back at the 1-yard line, as you mentioned.
Yeah, we saw this last week. Hobbs was in a similar situation, ended up giving up a safety. Maybe the same thing could happen tonight against this Cruces team.
So Hobbs defense will step out on the field. Las Cruces at their 1-yard line. And, of course, we mentioned the quarterback, again, from last year, Guardiola, the junior. So he's got a year left next year. Hobbs going to pack up 3, make it 4 on the front line. Shotgun to Guardiola. He's got a receiver left, 1 to the right side, 2. Go with the handoff. Amaro straight up the middle. Try to see the gap, but the Hobbs Eagle big wall there is going to close that gap quickly up the gut. And the big man on the bottom of that pile, throwing up his weight and body, was Mike Meredith, the defensive lineman, 6'2", 330 for the Eagles. It's hard to get through a big guy like that.
Yeah, this is going to be a very impressive stop. If Hobbs can get them to go 3 and out, that will be helpful. If they can get the ball, that'd be even better, but one step at a time.
They do say he got 4 progress. I'm not sure how, but he did get 2. Just kind of pushing the pile for Amaro for 2 yards. 2nd down and 8 now from the 3. Las Cruces pulling out of their offensive set. Look to the sideline. See what their coach Lopez has to say about it. They're going to make some movement on the line here. Some miscommunications. One guy moving right, left, back and forth. Francisco Winikoff, the wide receiver. He is actually going to leave the game now and bring in some new personnel from the sidelines. Twins left, receiver right. Shotgun for Guardiola. Now he's going to bring a man in motion left to right, and that was a late entry as well. Delay handoff to Amaro. Fakes the throw right. Amaro around the right end of the 5-10. Gets tripped up. Looked like his teammate might have pushed him a little bit. Got a shove from Caden Tierney. And they're going to give that one out to the 11-yard line. Make it the 12. So a 9-yard pickup for Amaro. Already 2 carries for 11 yards. And that'll be the first chain mover. First down for the Dogs.
Yeah, and that was important for them to get out of that end zone. They're still deep in their own territory, but at least they're not hugging the end zone like they were.
Off the internet. Had some difficulties there with our internet droppage. We will try to get you back on now, hopefully still on the radio and maybe the internet as well if we went the radio feed. Thank you, Tiffany, for that update. 8:41 left here in the first. It's 0-0. Las Cruces ball, 1st and 10 from their own 12. Back to pass, Guardiola with a quick slant shot to the 15, up the middle, 20. Spun around, and Amaro might have got his back with the back pedal into the first down area. Nope, they're going to say he got 8 on the play. And they make it 9 for Amaro. So that's going to be a 9-yard pickup on that quick slant. 2nd down and 1 for Las Cruces. They need to get to about the 20. Actually going to say they just got 8 on that one. So an 8-yard pickup for Amaro. First pass completion of the game for Las Cruces.
Expected to see this again. Saw it in film that Hobbs is giving away these chip shots.
2nd down and 2 now from the 20. Twins right, twins left as well. Shotgun for Guardiola. Fakes the handoff, pulls it out, throws the out route to the right side near 27-yard line up to the 30, and being pulled down at the 29. And the man in the reception there was Francisco Winikoff. And they're going to get him down to the 29, so another 9-yard pickup, this for Winikoff. So they are now 2 of 17 yards in the passing game, 2 for 2 from Guardiola, the quarterback.
So, yeah, Cruces is moving the ball early. The Dogs are definitely showing their teeth.
2 first downs for the Dogs at their own 29-yard line with 7:30 left first quarter. We are scoreless. Trips left, receiver right, shotgun Guardiola. That delay again, pulls it out, throws the curl route into the turf at the 34, trying to come back to it on the right side. Make it the left side was Libby. He's one of their top receivers. But it's kind of hard to do unless you had a shovel on that one. That ball hit the turf about 2 yards in front of him, closer to the line of scrimmage than what the curl came back to.
Hard to say if he got tipped or not. May have been, actually, but either way, if it wasn't, then that was just a bad throw and it never reached his receiver.
Stops the clock at 7:22 left here in the first. 2nd down and 10 down from the 29 of the Dogs on the right hash. They'll send 3 receivers left, 2 to the right side in front of the Hobbs Eagle bench. Las Cruces going left to right on the radio dial. Hobbs will load up with 4 in the front box. Shotgun to Guardiola by himself. He wants to throw the out route, catch at the 35, and spinning to the 40-yard line. That is Francisco Winnikoff. Looked like a 12-yard pickup for Winnikoff, so he's got 2 catches for 21 yards. They're now 3 of 4 in the passing game for 29.
Yeah, and this Bulldogs are definitely moving the ball down the field, doing what they need to, slowly but surely being efficient.
And that's what we said in the pregame show, Ron. Just like Artesia, you know them as a passing team. They like to do a lot of running against the Eagles. We're starting to see that here. Reverse. Las Cruces likes Amaro to run a lot. This game, they are throwing some short passes. Trips left, receiver right for Las Cruces. 1st and 10 from their own 41. Shotgun for Guardiola. Amaro on his right shoulder in the backfield. Taking some time on the snap count here. Long and loud snap count. Handoff around the left end. Stutter step. Trying to cut back up to the left hash and continuing forward is Amaro. He's moving the pile down the middle of the field now. Get some good blocking straight ahead. Looks like he's going to get about 9 and maybe close to 10. I think they're going to stop him short with the knee there, but into Hobbs Eagle territory, about the 50 it looks like. Actually going to say about 8.5 on that one for Amaro.
Exactly, but got at least 4 to 5 yards after the initial contact. And with the team, we're able to move that pile a little bit closer to the first down marker.
Shy of the 50 at the 49 for Las Cruces. That's 3 carries now for 20 yards for Amaro, more than 6 a pop, and a 2nd down and 1 now from their own 49. Twins left and right for Las Cruces. Referee's getting everybody set up here. Hobbs had an equipment issue there on the right defensive inside. Everybody's set now. Now Las Cruces looking around, wondering to know if the refs were ready here. I think the Whitecap official was trying to get the clock, the 40-second clock reset, and they reset that to 25 because there was a stoppage. That's what the delay was. So pairs of receivers both sides. Guardiola taking a hard snap count again. Handoff around the right end to Amaro. He heads up the middle now, breaks a tackle to 45, Hobbs Eagle territory, gets the first down. He's going to get about 8 to 9 yards. A helmet flies off of a Las Cruces kid, one of their linemen. He's going to have to leave the game for a play. And that was Riley Mendez, a big O lineman, 5'8", 205 pounds. So 9-yard pickup for Amaro to move the chains once again. He has got 29 yards on 4 carries. That's the 4th Las Cruces first down. They're very methodical about keeping that clock going, too. Some long series of plays we've seen the last few weeks for Las Cruces. 1st and 10 now from the Eagle 41 on the left hash. 3 receivers right, 2 to the left side. And by himself in the backfield is Guardiola. 3-step drop into the shotgun, has pressure, gets his arm hit, but he unloads the left flat, 40, 35, 30. That should be enough for the first down, as there was Amaro with a 12-yard pickup after the quick dump off the left flat. It looked like it might have got a piece of the arm there in the backfield as Guardiola was trying to unload that one and got a little bit of happy feet going.
Yeah, and so far 68 yards is what Las Cruces has so far. They moved from the 1 to the 29 right now of Hobbs. And they continue moving the ball with rather ease.
20 yards in receptions for Amaro on 2 catches. 5th first down of the ball game. 1st and 10 from the 29, left hash into Hobbs Eagle territory. The Dogs with the ball. We got some jumping on the defensive line. Didn't break the plane, I don't believe, for the Eagles, so they dodge a bullet there. Trips right, receiver left for the Dogs. They're going to change the play now. Another loud count. Staying right in the backfield. Now shifting left is Guardiola. Loses the football as he gets hit. Rolls toward the far sideline left. I think he got knocked out of bounds as Las Cruces might get the recovery. The wide receiver, Nate Libby, was over there, and he tried to get a piece of it. I think it might have got pumped out of his hands a little bit. They're going to lose some yards on this one. Looks like 4. So that's going to go against the quarterback who was getting some pressure on that right side of the defensive line for the Eagles.
For the first sack of the game for the Hobbs Eagles, and a loss, like you said. So, yeah, that's the first loss they've had, as far as I remember, in this drive.
2nd down and 14, and looks like a timeout. I don't think Las Cruces coach Mark Lopez liking what he's starting to see as a trend here, getting a little sloppy on offense. Time out on the field for the Dogs. 4:10 left, first quarter, still scoreless. Hobbs and Las Cruces High. Live on HobbsAmerica.com and YouTube. Also, Cool 95.7 on the radio. Back in 30 seconds. Coming back live after a loss, Cruces High timeout here at Watson Stadium. Ty Friend and Ron Gunner with you. Tiffany Stuber back at the station. Still 0-0, 4:10 left first quarter. 2nd down and 14 for Las Cruces after their timeout at the Hobbs Eagle 34 on the left hash. Pair receivers right, one left. Guardiola with the shotgun. Long delay. Fakes a handoff. He's going to fire the comeback curl route at the 20, caught and brought to the 15, and that'll be another first down and then some. Looks like about 18 yards on that catch, and that's going to be reception by Nate Libby. So Nate Libby getting his first reception, probably the best receiver on this team. That'll be 5 of 6 in the passing game for Las Cruces, their 6th first down, and they've got a total of 59 yards in the air so far.
So that timeout for the Dogs gave them an advantage, was able to get that first down, and now they're inside the red zone. They're going to see if they can get that score.
1st and 10 from the 15, right side hash. 2 receivers left, 1 right for Las Cruces. Trying to get the first score of the ball game. Guardiola back with Amora. This time he will give it to him around the right end. Stutter step at the 15 to the right sideline. Spins at the 10. Tries to throw his body forward. He's going to get about 7. Eagles trying to shut off any chance to extend that into the end zone that time. And good shot there for the Eagles to make the stop before teammates helping out. Jeremiah Mackey on that one, the defensive lineman.
Yeah, got a good chunk of that first down. Now it's 2nd and short, about 3 yards.
Amaro with 7 on that one. He doesn't have a double digit yet, but getting close. 36 yards on the ground on 5 carries. Going to be a 2nd down, long 3.5 now at the Eagle 9-yard line for Las Cruces. 2 receivers left, 1 to the right side. Guardiola going to go back in shotgun, has Amaro on his right shoulder behind him. Going to give the ball up the gut. Tomorrow's going to try to take the wall with him, but that's not going to work too good against the rugby formation for the Hobbs Eagles. Black jerseys all over the place, and they're going to have to kind of help up off the ground there. The man that was underneath taking the brunt of the shot that time for the defense for the Hobbs Eagles. Give the credit on that one to Tristan Davis, the linebacker. So he's going to lose a couple, or did he get a yard forward progress?
I think he got back to the line of scrimmage, and that was about it. So it's still about 3rd and 3 roughly.
About a yard and a half as well. Go ahead and give him 2 on that one. Well, actually, no, just give him 1. So he's got a 3rd down and 2 now at the Hobbs Eagle 8-yard line. Big play here for the Las Cruces Dogs to try to get themselves scoring. 1 receiver left and right. They're going to give the pitch around the right end of the 10-5, stretching it out towards the pylon, barely stepping inside the pylon on the right side. Touchdown on the goal line there. That's Amaro as he goes in from 8 yards on the first score of the ball game.
And, basically wasn't really even touched on that one. Was able to skirt in from the side, just rolled around, and was able to break the plane.
And actually not much of a pitch there. He just kind of pushed it off into Amaro's hands, did Guardiola, as he went out towards the right side of the line. And now we're going to go with the PAT. And Las Cruces has had some issues with some PATs recently, getting some blocked, hitting the uprights, hitting the crossbar. They missed a 34-yard field goal that hurt them in a game recently as well. So a couple teams around the area have been having some issues converting those PATs. Something must be in the water.
I think it's just they don't focus on the kicking game as much as they should.
This one's going to be up and good to shut me up here in the press box. Dalen Walter puts it through for the extra point. 2:04 left in the first. The time was running out big for Las Cruces on that series. Running that clock. They lead 7-0 over the Eagles. We'll be back in 60 seconds here on the Hobbs Eagle Network. Back here at Watson Stadium, your Hobbs Eagles trail 7-0, but Ron, Las Cruces High running up a lot of real estate and time on that last drive.
Exactly. They went 99 yards from one side of the field to the other. We weren't thinking they could, but they definitely proved us wrong and made that score for their first drive.
Yeah, 8-yard run for Amaro, and he has the majority of the runs, actually all the runs except one time Guardiola got dropped in the backfield, but he has a total of 7 so far for 45 yards and the touchdown from 8 yards out. So 7-0 your score, just 2:04 left. A lot of time burned off on that one. As Ron said, 99 yards total on that series. And ready for the kickoff here from Dalen Walter. He'll put a boomer on this one. This time it will be returned from the 5 for the Eagles. They go at a little power play that the Artesia Bulldogs love to do. Up the middle of the 20, 25, 30, and down to the 30-yard line. And that's where it's going to end up. So a 25-yard total return on that for the Hobbs Eagles. And that is Gabriel Henry, the man on the return on the starburst that time. 25 yards total on the return. And Hobbs with some pretty decent field position to start their second series. First one ended in a punt, but they pin him back to the 1-yard line. But Las Cruces, very methodical, moved it up the field. A lot of short passing to get their first score.
Exactly, that starburst. Once again, Hobbs doesn't use it very often, but when they do, they get some good field position.
They'll have it at their own 32-yard line. 1st and 10, Twins left and right. Shotgun for Beatty, along with Amari and Kennedy in the backfield. Give it to Kennedy up the gut to the 35. Plows ahead down to the 37. And he's going to get about 4 or 5 on that one is Omari, and that's going to be his first positive rush in this game, although we are early here in the first quarter, or first part of the game, I should say. I'm going to say about 5 on that one for Kennedy, so he has got 3 carries for 4 yards so far. Clock's running with 1:34. Hurry up offense for the Eagles. 2nd down and 5 from the 37. In the middle of the field now, shotgun, back to pass Beatty, 3-step drop. He's going to fire down the middle of the field for the seam route. Defender swatted the football as it kind of faded to the left towards the sideline at the last second. Double team against Henry that time. He had a couple defenders back deep. They weren't going to give him any loose area out there to work with. Defenders back deep were Devin Alba. Also got some help there, too, from Aiden Talavera. Incomplete, though, for the Eagles. And right now looking for their first reception of the game. They're 0 for 4 so far in the passing department.
Yeah, Brock went on the inside. He should have gone on the outside and gotten his receiver.
3rd down and 5 now from the 37. Still in their Eagle territory. Twins right and receiver left. Back to pass Beatty. He'll throw the out route to the first down marker, far right sideline, but it was too high. Came out the fingertips of the intended Hobbs receiver. Or wait, did they call that a catch? Nope. Looks like they're throwing it back to the original line there.
Exactly, but it looked like he was going in, so even if he would have caught it, he could have been short about a yard.
Pass was intended for Justice French. Of course, he had that big 40-yarder last week in the win over El Paso Parkland. Incomplete on that one, so Eagles are 0 for 5 so far in the passing game. And they're going to go back to their punt situation once again, and that'll be the quarterback, of course, for the Eagles, Brock Beatty.
And Coach Stephen, once again, seeing a slow start on the offensive side of his team. Didn't want to see that. Las
Cruces is going to have somebody back this time. Almost gets the punt block, does Beatty, but able to unload it. Going to take a big high bounce at the 30 and going to roll for the Eagles towards the near right sideline and chasing it down again like we saw in the last play from the punt. Adrian Mora doing a good job of making sure that was going to roll as much as it could before he's tapped it dead. So 2 punts so far for the Eagles offense. And now they're going to have to bring the D back on the field. They trail 7-0 to Las Cruces with 1:07 left first quarter. Not a lot of time the Eagles spending on their offensive series here, Ron.
No, they're not. And unfortunately, it's one of those situations, we've seen it before. They're going to quick offense, and sometimes that doesn't burn a lot of clock.
And sometimes when you don't get in the rhythm and make completions, sometimes you don't get the yards you need to keep it moving. And that we've seen that twice. No completion so far. 1st and 10 from the 25 for Las Cruces. Twins right and a pair of receivers left. Guardiola back in shotgun. Gets a good snap to Amaro. Stutter step at the middle. Cross left to the 30, 35, 40. Heads outside, 45, 50 into Hobbs territory. 40, 35, 30, far sideline. 25, 20, 15, 10. And that's where he'll stop. He went from the 26 down to the 10. Big time run as he accelerated down the field.
Just broke it open. Once he got into the secondary, he was off to the races and just got short of that touchdown.
See how many they're going to give him on this one. It looks close to 68 yards there.
He's on the 7-yard line right now, so.
Big time run for him as they did start that on the 26.
So that sounds like about 51 yards.
67.
67.
Yeah, I was one off on that one to do my quick add of the yardage out there, but a first down nonetheless. 7 first downs for Las Cruces, and that invariable red zone is back in the book here for Las Cruces. It's going to cause a timeout here too.
Yeah, exactly. A quick turnaround, and all of a sudden, once again, in scoring position is the Las Cruces Bulldogs, and Hobbs did not want to see this. Again, though, they are winless against this team at home, and that's something they wanted to remedy this year.
Over 100 yards in rushing already for Amaro, but thanks to that 67-yarder helping out the cause. We'll keep it right here. And, Ron, we got some sponsors of Hobbs Eagle football this season. And, of course, a big reason why the radio broadcasts and also the HobbsAmerica.com and YouTube broadcasts are going strong.
Exactly, we do. And we got to thank those sponsors. Of course, we have First American Bank of Hobbs, along with others, along with Eastern New Mexico University, Eunice Pump and Supply, NMR Pipeline, Hobbs Express, Devon Energy, and so much more, even Forest Tire and Divine Energy. And we'll talk about more of those as we go along in this game.
Yeah, they quickly broke out of the timeout, as Ron had to quick read those for you. But, well, sure, we're very happy to have them aboard. We had the Nova Mud Spirit Remote earlier today at Watson Stadium here. After the timeout, a first and goal from the 8-yard line. Las Cruces football leading 7-0. Man in motion left to right. He's going to line up as a slot left. Pitch it right to Morrow. Cuts up the middle, 10, 5, towards the goal line. Is he going to drag people in or not? Waiting for the signal from the line judges here. He's close. And they're going to say he's short by about a yard. A 7-yard gain for Amaro. And he already has 1 touchdown in the last series for 8 off a score around the right end to the right pylon of the end zone.
Looks like half a yard is what he's short now.
30 seconds running here in the first quarter. Las Cruces trying to add on their second touchdown here in the opening quarter of the game here in Watson Stadium. They're going to bring up the quarterback, Guardiola, underneath the center now instead of the shotgun. Brings him out of motion from right to left. That's Francisco Winnicott, the receiver. Now to slot. Pitch left to Morrow. He's going to try to get back up the middle. Bounces into a wall. Eagles not going to get messed around with this time as they plow him down. And he'll be lucky to get back to the line of scrimmage. Tried to bounce off of him that time, but was unable to do it. And that will also run out the horn here. Got to give some credit for the initial hit from the Hobbs Eagles to bounce him backwards that time. And that was Adrian Mora, the DB for the Eagles. And they're going to say he actually lost a total of 2 yards on that one, his first minus of the ball game. We'll take a break here at the end of the first. It's Las Cruces High 7, your Hobbs Eagles nothing. We're coming back live in 60 seconds on the Hobbs Eagle Network. Hobbs Eagles trying to put on a red zone stand on defense. Las Cruces knocking at the door at the Eagles' 3-yard line. Amaro, the running back for Las Cruces, already 117 yards on the ground on 10 carries. So he's 10 plus per carry, and now they're knocking again at the 3. Back after the timeout, double slot, shotgun. Guardiola going to hand it to Amaro, the tailback, puts his head down, tries to head to the left of the scrimmage line there, up the hash, and he's met by another brick wall. The Hobbs Eagles know that he wants to run the football for another touchdown, and they're not going to let it happen very easily. Coming in first for the Eagles on that left side of the line to make a helmet-to-helmet contact, Jeremiah Mackey, and he stops him enough, and it looks like no gain on the play on that one.
Yeah, just for some reason, Las Cruces is trying to go back and give them a head start, a running start anyway, and it's not working. Instead, the defense is there, set up, and just stopping them well short.
And the problem with these series, Ron, running a lot of clock off, too, is Las Cruces on these drives. They ran out most of that first quarter. Now they're into the second. Twins left, receiver right for Las Cruces. Guardiola going to bring a man in motion left to right. Winnicott. Bad snap. It's on the ground. Picking it up left is Guardiola getting chased in the backfield. Tries to throw it at the last second, being backpedaled to the 18. I'm not sure they're going to call him dead in the grass or not. He did throw it to the turf, and that was a fourth down situation, and that will be incomplete, and it will be Hobbs football.
So that is a good stance for Hobbs. Got him first and goal. In fact, they were at the 1 yard line basically when they started that thing off. Ended up getting them back a couple of yards. Yeah, they're deep in their own territory, but still stopped a possible 6 or 7 points from being put on the board.
So a turnover on downs for Las Cruces, and Hobbs now going to have to go a long distance to move it up the field. Kind of the position that Las Cruces was in on their last series, but they did go 99 yards to get up and score eventually. Hobbs now starting from their own 3. They trail 7-0 with 11:05 left here in the second.
Yeah, Hobbs would love to duplicate the same thing that Las Cruces did just moments ago.
2 receivers left, 1 to the right. Little discussion in the backfield, moving their running backs around quite a bit. Split formation now for the shotgun for Beatty. Beatty fakes a handoff, 2-step drop in the end zone, fires it down the far sideline, fade route. Receiver kind of slowed up at the 30. I wasn't quite sure how far that ball was going to go, and put on the brakes, and the ball sails about 15 yards past him. Gabriel Henry, I'm not sure if he lost it in the lights or what. He looked like he had his defenders beat on that far left sideline. It was kind of just put out there for him to run under, and for some reason, pulled those feet into the turf.
Not sure if the scoreboard had anything to do with it either or not. I know it has some interesting lights that distract you from time to time, but yeah, either way, just wasn't on the same page.
After almost 300 yards of passing last week against El Paso Parkland, Hobbs now 0 for 6 in the passing game right now. 2nd down and 10 from the 3-yard line. Delay handoff around the right end, breaking a tackle to 5 to the far right, or the near sideline, and at the ball carrier for the Eagles was Xavier Garcia, I believe they had back there. Or was that maybe that's Ricky Gonzalez. I think Gonzalez was just put in there. He gets out to the 9-yard line, a 6-yard pickup for Gonzalez. His first action in the backfield, at least with the ball carry.
Definitely needed some positive yardage on that one, as it is 3rd and short.
Going to go 3rd down and about 3.5 for Hobbs. They're at their own 9-yard line with twins left, receiver right. 2 backs in the backfield, stacked up. Shotgun to Beatty, hands off around the right side, trying to see some outside looks here to the 10, able to throw his body across the 10-yard line. Maybe a 2-yard pickup that time, but not much more than that. Seamus Wright is going to get about 1.5 yards.
Almost got stopped in behind the line of scrimmage, was able to squirt around, but not for much of a gain.
About 1.5 yards, so we'll just give him 1 on that one. So that will be 2 carries for 9 yards for Wright. 4th down and about 1.5 yards for the Eagles. Definitely not a go-for-it situation at their own 10.5-yard line. So this is going to be their potential 3rd punt of the game on their first 3 possessions. Clock down to 9:40 left, first quarter, 7-0 Las Cruces. Las Cruces will have a man back at the 50-yard line. Here's the punt from Beatty. Get some air underneath it. Fair catch is going to be called at the 49 of the Eagles. Waving it off and then coming up underneath it for the catch. In traffic a little bit, Daniel Amaro. There's the running back again. We mentioned last week a 70-yard punt return for a touchdown in their game against Cleveland. So he definitely's got some good special teams work out there. The worst part about this is, Ron, they're in Hobbs Eagle territory now with their next possession.
Exactly. This is the 3rd time now. The first time they had it deep in their own possession and were able to score with 99 yards. The second one, not so much. They were stopped. But Las Cruces, you give them enough chances, and they will put a score on you.
49-yard line of the Eagles. Las Cruces ball on the left hash. 7-0 your score. They scored on an 8-yard run for Amaro with 2:14 left in the first. Twins left and right. Guardiola the shotgun snap. 3-step drop. Gets pressure. He's going to unload it down the middle. Seam route over the shoulder, and it's going to go off the receiver at the 10, high in the air. Had some tough pressure back with him. Going toe-to-toe the whole time out there, the DB, who stepped back to help out. Great job of a double team out there at the last second by Jacob Diaz, knocking that ball down, and both guys going up high in the air.
Yeah, and quarterback was hit as he released the ball. Maybe that took a little off the ball. Who knows? But either way, it is 2nd down for Las Cruces.
5 of 8 is Guardiola, the quarterback for Las Cruces right now. He's had a couple receptions for Winnicott and Amaro. Libby had the other one. 2nd down and 10 now from the 49. Eagles with 4 on the front line for the defense. Trips right, 2 receivers left for Las Cruces. Guardiola going to fire the curl route at the 40-yard line and pushing himself up the field. Looks like enough for the first down, about 11 or 12 on Winnicott's catch in front of the Hobbs Eagle bench. left side.
And that extra day seems to be paying off for Las Cruces. They know exactly where to hit on this defense for Hobbs.
Winnicott, 3 catches for 32 yards. That's another Las Cruces first down on 11 on that one. 8 first downs for the Cruces Dogs at the Eagle 38 left hash. Still that 7-point lead for the visiting Las Cruces squad as they send 2 receivers left, 1 to the right side. Amaro's going to be back with his quarterback, Guardiola, left shoulder of the quarterback. Man in motion left to right is Libby, the receiver, now making it twins right. Delay handoff around the right end, pulling it back out, though, and deciding to throw instead off the slant route to Francisco Winnicott. Guardiola chucked that so hard, it went behind the receiver who was in the middle of the field. He had a good stride waiting for the ball, but threw it to a ghost behind him, and that thing was going about 90 miles an hour, incomplete.
Yeah, put everything he had into it. Looked like it was great, but just had too much mustard on it, apparently.
I don't know what our superintendent, Gene Strickland, is doing down there. Looked like he would have go in the end zone and picked that off for the Hobbs Eagle defense. He's back down near the end zone about the 1-yard line, and I could see him smiling down there as he was the closest receiver to make the catch. Actually, DB safety, I should say.
Yeah, well, you know, he is hands-on.
2nd down and 10 from the 39. Handoff around the right end, Amaro. He has a guy in his saddle back there, and he pulls him forward a little bit, maybe about 6-yard gain, if that. Eagles had a piece of the back that time and could try to pull him down and finally did. Linebacking core helping out on that one for the Eagles on the right hash. That was Gustavo Diaz-Castro, the linebacker, but still a 5-yard pickup, make it 6 for Amaro. He's got 123 yards on carries so far here in the first half, a majority of that in the first quarter, and a touchdown from 8 yards out.
Yeah, he's got great numbers already, and it's still just the second quarter, so he's looking at his mouth is watering for more yardage.
3rd down and 4 for Las Cruces. Middle of the field, 34, make it the 33-yard line in Hobbs Eagle territory. Running a lot of clock here, 8 minutes left in the half. Twins right, receiver left. Brings a receiver in motion right to left to line up at that right slot back. We got a flag flying. We haven't had a lot of handkerchiefs in this first half. And that might have been some movement on the line there. Looks like they're going to call a delay of game. So a 5-yard penalty going to be marked off against Las Cruces. They've got the only 2 penalties so far. They had that personal foul earlier for a late hit, 15-yarder, now a 5-yarder for 20. I think they had 8 penalties last week, close to 70, 80 yards against, was that Cleveland, I believe they played last week. So they have been having some issues with some penalties, but so far have a 7-point lead. But I think they're not going to be comfortable with this 7-point lead at halftime. They definitely want to add some points on the scoreboard.
Absolutely they are. They're probably kicking themselves for that short field position they had, and they just could not punch it in.
3rd down and 10 now, back at the 38. Shotgun, Guardiola, delay, fake the handoff. He's going to scamper right, tucks it to the far right sideline, gets run into by one of his own players, throws it to the other side of the field on the left. Catch made at the 20. Great throw there from about the 40-yard line down to the 20, so about an 18-yard, 19-yard pickup. And he was almost getting sacked back on the right side of the field, but threw it all the way over to the left.
So made something out of nothing on that one, and but there is
we got a procedure penalty against Las Cruces. Maybe that was an ineligible receiver downfield. 22 made the catch. Daniel Morrow coming out of the backfield. Maybe it was, if you're lined up on, too many guys lined up on the line on the side of where the football's coming to, you can't all go out for pass plays there. So that might have been what the issue was. So the procedure penalty, definitely have to take that penalty. Otherwise, you got to either a first down or close to it. So that's going to back it up 5. So back-to-back penalties for Las Cruces. Eagles dodging a bullet on that one. They were putting a lot of swamp action over there on the quarterback. They should have had him down. Somehow stopped on the line of scrimmage far right, turned and fired all the way back to the left.
Exactly.
Good state of mind there for Guardiola. Trips left, receiver right for Las Cruces. 3rd down and 15 from the Hobbs Eagle 43. Guardiola waiting for the shotgun with Amaro. Fakes the handoff, 1-step drop. Throws the post route down the middle to the 30-yard line, but hard shot again. And wicks off the arm of Francisco Winnicott. Boy, some of his passes down the middle have been way too hard. Receivers have no chance to get their hands up there. Otherwise, they're going to be losing some fingers.
Well, you know, this is the 5th game of the season. You think that they'd be used to his arm strength by now, but yeah, apparently just could not handle that one. Went through his hands, and usually you're said that if you can touch it, you can catch it.
Oh, yeah, but you're going to be losing, like I said, some digits after trying to put your hands up for that. 4th down and 15 now for Las Cruces at the Hobbs Eagle 43, middle of the field. Twins left and right. They look like they're in a punt formation. We'll see if they actually do it or not. Waiting for a long snap count. Back of the 45 of Cruces. They'll keep a wobbler. It's going to go down the near right sideline and take a roll past the 10. So Las Cruces getting a nice help on that roll, and it'll stop about the 9-yard line. So Eagles kind of let that one just get by them, and about 9 players around the football that time, making sure that it's going to continue to roll a little bit. That was Derek Hine, the guy that came up with it, the dog that made the stop on the football. 6:51 left first quarter, or make it the second quarter here in the first half. Hobbs, though, only trails by 7, so you're not giving up too many points on the scoreboard, but they got to get the offense in sync here.
Defense is definitely doing what they need to do. Offense needs to get in sync and rhythm, like you mentioned, and this is the time to do it. It's before the half.
Las Cruces with a punt and a turnover on down so far, but they lead 7-0. 2 receivers right, and on the left side, 2 for the Eagles. They have it at their own 9-yard line. Shotgun to Beatty. He's going to throw the slant route, and it goes off the fingertips at about the 18. And that was off the hands of the receiver, Justice French, and a good slap of the ball by the safety that got in there to take a whack at it, to knock it out of his hands. Good help side on that one by Josiah Gutierrez. Incomplete for the Eagles, who now are 0 for 7 in the passing department.
We've been talking about the fact that Las Cruces is not able to handle those passes. Well, Hobbs is having struggles, too, with it. So far, they haven't caught a single one, like you just mentioned, and definitely need to get some receptions if they want to move the ball forward.
Second down and 10 for the Eagles at their own 9-yard line. 7-0 Las Cruces. The umpire is kind of walking around with the football. Do they have a penalty late on this one? He's backing it up to the line of scrimmage, and he's marking off 5 against Las Cruces High. Maybe more. We'll see. No, 5 against the Dogs. So they're going to continue to add up the penalty yardage. They have 4 penalties here in the first half for 30 yards. The official did not get on the mic on that one. I didn't see what the call was, but it's against the Dogs. It's going to be 2nd and 5 now. From the 14, Eagles look to the sideline for the play call. They send 3 receivers left, one of their short right side in front of the Hobbs Eagle bench. It's going to be Beatty back with Kennedy, waiting for that shotgun. Give it to Kennedy. He tries to shoot and juke to the right side, and unfortunately goes down near the line of scrimmage, or maybe behind it that time. Not much going for that for Kennedy. And looks like he loses a yard on the play. So Kennedy with 4 carries so far for 3 yards. And again, Hobbs only getting about 80 yards rushing last week. Not a solid performance on the ground, but of course Kennedy's still trying to battle that ankle injury back at the Roswell game. He went down hard, but came back in that game and was in there last week as well.
And the Bulldog Acosta Sr. was there just in time, was able to stop him before he was able to get his momentum going.
3rd down and 4. They're at the 15-yard line. Trent's right, single receiver left, and we got a flag and a procedure penalty again against the Eagles this time. Their first penalty of the ball game. And that's going to back them up 5 again. And you're getting so close to that first down marker, Ron. You want to see some consistency and get that motivation up as you move the ball down the field, but then you got the real estate going the other direction.
Yeah, we talked about that before. It wasn't a false start. It was a legal procedure, but still, these are fundamental things that Hobbs should be aware of by now and avoiding at all cost.
We'll back it up to the 10-yard line. 3rd down and 10. Trips left, receiver right. Beatty back and shot. 2-step drop. Dancing around to the right, still looking for receivers to get open. He's going to fire the fade route, or make that the crossing route from left to right. Coming to the near right sideline, all the way from the left side of the field was Isaiah Rodriguez. A high throw off the end of his fingertips. He tried to get up in the air, but he had 3 guys behind him. I think he was feeling the potential getting walloped hard from behind. Incomplete, and the passing game is non-existent so far. They're trying to get it out there, but 0 for 8 in that department.
Exactly. Looked like that one was delivered a little behind his receiver. Just did not have what it took. If he would have thrown it in front of him, that would have been a different situation.
4th and 10, the punt for Beatty. It'll go back to the Las Cruces 47. Come around the left side, 50. Hobbs territory, 45. Near sideline, 40. And run out of bounds into Eagle territory. So a good return, and we got a flag flying, a bunch of flags flying late on the play. And there's still some guys inside the Eagles sideline trying to get themselves on track there. The returner was Denton Walter. Flags coming out late. Of course, Las Cruces got hit on a late hit earlier in the first quarter. And this was about maybe almost 30 seconds after the wrap-up on the sideline. And this went into a large pile of Hobbs Eagles sideline guys. And the flag was more out on the field, though, so I'm not sure if that's what they're calling. Whitecap is talking to one official who just picked up his flag. Now wait to see if they're going to pick them all up here. Personal foul against Las Cruces again. Oh, they're calling against the Eagles, too, so these are going to wash out. So I think it's a little chippy down there, Ron, for the first game of district.
And it shouldn't be either. But, yeah, I'm not quite sure exactly who started it first, but both of them were called, and maybe that's a good sign. But that's also a bad sign as far as, look, we need to keep our cool. Both sides do. And all these chippy little penalties do not need to be thrown.
A lot of times retaliation is what gets seen by the official. That time they get both sides whacked on that one. Hobbs will play the D now. Las Cruces will keep it at the Eagle 39 on the left hash. They lead 7-0 with 5:38 remaining. Do the Dogs. Guardiola by himself in the backfield. Trips right, 2 receivers left. Takes it up the middle, but he's not going to get much pull on it. Tries to drag about 3 guys with him, but brought down behind the line of scrimmage. I might have gotten about a yard forward progress. If he did get to the line of scrimmage, he's lucky. Coming in there quickly for the Eagles linebacking core, but getting some help as well was Tristan Davis, second tackle of the game.
That was a 2-yard loss on that play, and so it's second down and about 12.
Yeah, he really didn't get the go-ahead he wanted. Not a lot of blocking from that left side. He just got the ball high, got his head down, and didn't get the acceleration he wanted. Second and 12 now from the Eagle 41-yard line on the left hash. They'll send 2 receivers right, 1 to the left. Clock under 5 minutes left in the half. Shotgun to Guardiola. Fakes the handoff. Dancing around, shifting out to the right. He gets a chase, throws it. Catch made, a quick comeback route to the 35 to help out his quarterback right side, and he gets turned down quickly. That's going to be about a 9-yard pickup on that far right sideline.
Depending on when they mark it, you may be right, but definitely made that from a negative to a positive, and Las Cruces looked like they were going to be back further, but instead gain about 6 or 7.
That's going to bring up a 3rd down and 5, so actually give him 8 on that one. That's 2 catches for 26 for Libby now. Still not a first down, about 3rd and 5. 7 out of 12 in the passing game so far, and all 3 of the receivers have more than 1 catch apiece. 3 for Winnikoff, 2 apiece for Libby and Amaro. Be a 3rd down. It looks like 5 now for Las Cruces at the Eagle 33-yard line. 7-0 Dogs with 4:46 left in the second. Hobbs still in this ball game. Just a 1 touchdown difference. Slot right, actually double slot look. Give the ball up to Amaro, right side, heads around to the 30, and he's brought down at the 28. Looks like he'll have enough for the first down, just barely. It looks like the sticks are moving, so 5 for Amaro to move the chains. And that'll be the 9th first down for Las Cruces. That's a telling stat there. First downs are 9-1 in favor of the Dogs right now, Ron.
Exactly, and the only time that Hobbs has one is with a penalty to assist them. Otherwise, they have not had a single first down of their own.
Yeah, that personal foul penalty, late hit on Las Cruces back in the first quarter. Down to the 28, and Las Cruces being very methodical, just letting that clock run here. Twins left, receiver right. Guardiola with a long, hard snap count. Gives it off to Morrow around the right end of the 25, heads outside, stutter step, 20, trying to cut it back, gets the first down, and he's trying to move that pile more. Looks like it might have got an extra yard on that one after the pile move. That's about 11, maybe 12. Bunch of guys in there for the Hobbs Eagles, bunch of black jerseys, and one of the guys coming out of that pile mess actually never hit the ground, really. I mean, the Amaro did not.
But either way, he's finding spots that there are no Eagles at. Just being able to get those first downs, that's the second one in a row.
That's actually just the first double-digit, or second double-digit run for Amaro. He had a 67-yarder, and 11 was that one there. 139 on the ground already for Amaro in triple digits. And again, 10th first down of the game for Las Cruces, now at the 18 of the Eagles. Shotgun snap to Guardiola. Gives the handoff again, Amaro, angling right. Same place he just was a second ago, and kind of threw his body forward. And gets about 3 on that one to the right hash.
Drug a Hobbs Eagle about 2 or 3 yards forward on that one to get that positive yardage.
Yeah, the lineman trying to step over Mike Meredith again. 6'2", 330 on that left side of the line for the Hobbs Eagle defense. What did he get on that one? About 2, it looks like.
Yeah, it looks like 2, maybe 3 at the most. But yeah, I made that. He was hitting the backfield and still managed to make that forward progress.
Not a big kid either, Amaro. So he just pumps those legs and keeps moving forward. Second out and 8. Twins left, receiver right. Give it again to Amaro. Same side to the right. 15. Heads outside. 10. Cuts it back. 5 towards the end zone. And a touchdown on the right side. Just zigzagging his way down for an 18-yard scamper. And Amaro's back on the scoreboard, his second TD of the ball game.
It's like he's covered in oil. There was times that he was caught, but just could not get him down. and just slipped through his fingertips, and Hobbs just was unable to stop him at that rate.
So much clock being run off here for Las Cruces on these series as well. That's already getting it down to 2:45. Gives time for the Eagles to try to score here before the end of the half as we wait for the PAT for Dalen Walter. He made the first one earlier. That was all the way back in the first quarter with 2:04 left in that quarter. Good snap. Kick is up. And the kick is good. 2:45 left here in the second. Las Cruces extends their lead to 14-0 over your Hobbs Eagles. We'll be back in 60 seconds live on HobbsAmerica.com, YouTube, and Cool 95.7 on the radio. Las Cruces leads 14-0 here in the second quarter with 2:45 remaining. And the man of the hour for Las Cruces so far, Daniel Amaro, the running back, 153 yards on the ground, 2 touchdowns, 18. He just scored on that one, and an 8-yarder back in the first quarter. The only 2 touchdowns, though. Hobbs is not done with this game yet. We're not to halftime.
Exactly, but at the rate they're going, their offense definitely needs a recharge. Something's going on. They can't seem to get those connections with the passes, and that has been a big hindrance for them so far.
Las Cruces electing to kick from the left hash. You don't see that very often except on a onside kick situation. I'm not quite sure they want to give the Eagles the ball this up near midfield with a 14-0 lead. You definitely want to pin them back if possible. And they are going to keep it low, but it's going to go far. It's going to hit the goal line and roll into the end zone, automatic touchback. And that will give Hobbs one last series here, probably here in the second quarter from their 20-yard line. We have seen the passing so far attempted 0 for 8 at this point, so nobody's come down with one. Rushing department, the only guy in positives right now, actually 2. Wright is 2 for 9, and Kennedy is 4 for 3. Actually, Gonzalez had 1 run for 6. He came in late, a couple minutes back. So Hobbs got to get themselves offensively back in the track, you could say, here at Watson Stadium. Just one big play could get everybody spiced up in the stands. Kind of quiet here at Watson right now as they get ready for that big halftime show coming up. All the marching bands in Hobbs will be on the middle of the field there pretty quickly.
Exactly. Middle school, high school, they're all going to be performing at halftime, but we're going to see if we can get a score before then.
1st and 10 from the 20. Twins right and left to the shotgun to Beatty. Bring a man in motion left to right. Rodriguez back to pass, 3-step drop. They're going to throw the long flag right over the shoulder to the right side. They caught the 45 to the 40 of Las Cruces, 30. 25, 20, 15, 10, 5, and a touchdown. That's going to be for 80 yards for the Hobbs Eagles to get on the board. The big play I was talking about.
And Brock Beatty is the one. Brock Beatty was the one that sent it to Braddock Beatty for that huge touchdown. We needed that, and first completion as well for the Hobbs Eagles.
So 80 yards to the brother-to-brother connection. And finally, the Eagles on the scoreboard. Just got those words out of my mouth. And now the PAT.
Of course, Braddock has to kick that extra point as well.
They had too many men on the field, and getting off just at the last second to get away from the penalty was Gabriel Henry. And he kind of pats his chest and says, my bad. So Brock Beatty, or make it Braddock Beatty, now going to kick the extra point. Kind of a high snap. Kick is up, and it is good. Very important play for the Hobbs Eagles to get some life into this offense. Off that 80-yard pass, over the shoulder, little flag route. Coming up the middle, then kind of angling towards the right sideline. And there's the touchdown. So 14-7, we're going to keep it right here at Watson Stadium. 2:28 left in the half. The Eagle defense, though, is going to have to come back out and hopefully keep Las Cruces at bay. You don't want them to tack on to make up for their mistake on that secondary defense on the pass game there.
Exactly, but this is kind of like deja vu. We saw this a couple weeks ago with Hobbs where they were down 14-0. A kick return, though, is what happened that time that brought Hobbs back into play. And this time around, though, a nice strike for the first time. And again, Hobbs was just unable to connect for whatever reason in the passing game, but this time around made it look easy. Just caught him in on his route in stride and went all the way. Just had to angle it just so where he could get past those defenders. and get that nice touchdown.
Although that was just your first reception on 9 attempts, getting that 80 yards does help out your total yards column a little bit, make it a little better to swallow. But still a lot of discussion, I bet, about the offense during halftime. Coach Stevens is going to have to take a look at what was offered defensively. A lot of drops out there and passes that were overthrown, really. I mean, that was the big issue, was overthrowing the receivers. You're pretty speedy for this Hobbs Eagle offense. The question is whether Hobbs will try an onside kick. We'll have to wait and see if that does happen here. That could be a possibility, as getting ready to kick is Fabian Astorga. From the 40-yard line, right hash. He's going to boot it hard, but there's a whistle as he does unload. Hopefully not an offsides on the Eagles. Usually that's what the indication would be, as it's being called right from the 40. And the flag is at the far left, so I think we're going to back it up 5 and re-kick from the 35.
Shouldn't be a problem, but that was Braddock Beatty's 6th touchdown of the season, so he is now leading by 1 in that category.
Second penalty of the game for the Eagles for 10 total. That was a 5-yarder as well. So that's going to back it up, as we said, to the 35 from that right hash once again. And you have to be careful because Amaro, as we mentioned, he had a punt return last week of about 70-plus yards. So I don't know if he's see if he's the furthest guy back there. Definitely the speedster for Las Cruces. As we get ready to reset here. 2:28 left in the half, 7-14. Eagles down by 7. He'll keep this one a little bit short up the near left sideline. Caught at the 18, going to be brought up the side. Accelerated to the 30 and brought down hard at the 35. The returner was Isaac Gomez. And a nice wrestling move. Picked up the body and destroyed down to the turf there for the Eagles, Tristan Davis. Boy, he got some professional wrestling moves on that one, and making sure that kid's going to know, hey, you're going to hurt when you come off the ground after me.
Exactly, and Tristan Davis has always been known to be able to get his man down when he needs to, and that was a nice tackle.
We did say he came into the game leading the team in tackles at 55, and 30 of those, more than half, solo tackles for the Eagles. He averages about 14 a game and had 8 tackles for losses up into this contest. 2:23 left here in the second. Hobbs down 14-7. Las Cruces ball at their own 35 on the left hash. Guardiola with the Twins left and right look. He has Amaro, gives the ball to him around the left end, trying to extend to the left sideline, cuts back to the 35, and then back to the sideline in front of the Hobbs Eagle bench. That's going to be a 5-yard pickup. A lot of lateral running that time for Amaro as he goes to 164 in the rushing game so far for Las Cruces. Actually give him 6 on that one.
Yep.
I don't think did he get out of bounds there? Yep, nope, the clock's running at 2 minutes. But they're happy to run that clock as much as they can here to not give the Eagles a chance to get it back. Twins left and right, 2nd down and 4 from the 41. Back to pass, Guardiola, shotgun, steps up in the pocket, 35, he's gonna run, 45, there's a penalty in the backfield, to the 50 of the Eagles, and down at the 48 is the angle left at the last second. And coming up to make the tackle, that's gonna be a penalty before that though.
Exactly.
Aiden Glum is the guy that gets up there.
And this one's going back.
Oh, wait a second, a face mask. That's going to be tacked on, which makes it horrible for the Eagles.
So possible first down becomes an automatic first down with that nice face mask against Hobbs.
So what was that, about 12 on the pickup, then 15 extra?
So, yeah, it's going to move them down the field, and that's exactly what Hobbs did not want to see. They are deep in their own territory now, and they have a possibility, Las Cruces does, making another score. 3
penalties for 25 yards so far. That'll be a first down for Las Cruces, their 11th. Hobbs will have 4 in the front box on the defense. 1st and 10 from the Hobbs Eagle 34. Left hash. Delay now as Guardiola talks to Amaro in the backfield. Went to underneath the center, then backed up in the backfield for the shotgun. Twins right, receiver left. Back to pass Guardiola, 3-step drop, stays pocket, left hash still. Now flushed out to the left. He's going to roll out to the 35, and that doesn't make it there as wrapping him up from behind. Bear hug around the waist for the Eagles D. Sammy Baeza, the linebacker. And that's a -3 for the quarterback, Guardiola.
Exactly, and that's what Hobbs needed was push them back a little bit, see if they slow them down, at least the momentum anyway, and make them think twice about before they pass.
2nd down and 13 from the Eagle 35. Clock down to 54 seconds left, 14-7 score. Guardiola in the pocket again. Throws a quick comeback route to the 30, 25, near sideline, 20, 15, 10, 5, touchdown. That's going to be a 35-yard dump pass to the left side, and that's going to be brought in by Libby, and the score, catch and run for Libby. 35-yarder on that one.
And he was all alone on that one on the catch as well. Was able to get it up the middle, zigzagged a little bit, was untouched though, and ended up getting that reception for a touchdown.
His first touchdown, he's got 61 yards on 3 catches, 20-plus on each of those, and the first TD for Libby, their top receiver, and extends the score to 20-7, pinning the PAT. And that's what I was kind of worried about, Ron.
Yeah.
Hobbs getting elated about the big play, the 80-yard touchdown catch, but then here's Las Cruces to try to get it back to get themselves under control here.
Exactly, and they did do that with plenty of time.
Dalen Walter, the kicker, for his 3rd attempt at a PAT in this game. Does he get it? Yes, he does. 45 seconds left here in the first half, 21-7, Las Cruces. Or did they say he missed it? They're looking back at the scoreboard here. I think they just didn't get up on the board yet. But we'll take a 30-second break and come back live as your Hobbs Eagles trail here at Watson Stadium. Scoreboard says 20-7 still. I guess they call that no good on the missed PAT. So Hobbs dodges a bullet at least with 1 point there. Las Cruces up by the 13 instead of the 14, coming off a 35-yard pass from Guardiola to Libby for the Dogs to take the lead back from the where it was originally at 14-0. Of course, the Eagles did answer here in the second with an 80-yard pass from Braddock Beatty to his brother, or from Beatty to Beatty, we should say. And now the kickoff for Las Cruces, who leads by 13. Kick coming from the 40-yard line. Be an end over end. Shallow hit to the 12, brought down. It looked like a knee might have gone down as the catch was made. Unfortunately, he came up quickly, but Gabriel Henry caught by the back official there and saw that knee touch the turf at the 12-yard line. He was in good stride, too. Ball was low, a low shot towards his knees that time, and he kind of got down to scoop it, and knee went down on that right hash.
Yeah, unfortunately, sometimes that happens where you're just trying to adjust. You don't consider where your body is. You're just more concerned about the ball. And looks like that's what happened. But still, nevertheless, Hobbs has one more opportunity, even though they're deep in their own territory.
42 seconds left here in the second. Twins left and right for the Eagles at their own 12-yard line, trailing 20-7. Shotgun to Beatty. Comeback route to the sideline on the right side, making the catch and continuing up the field is French. His first catch of the game and the first catch for the Eagles. Let's see what he gets on this one. Looks like 4 possibly for Hobbs on that. So French with the first catch, second catch of the game. Forgot about the 80-yard touchdown earlier. Hobbs now 2 of 10 in the passing game for 84 yards. And they gave him 4 on that one to the 16. We'll take a quick break, come back in 30 seconds. Las Cruces 20, Hobbs 7. Don't forget, we're back live with Hobbs Eagle Football on Cool 95.7, HobbsAmerica.com, and YouTube. .34 seconds left here in the half. Hobbs down 20-7. Second down and 6 for the Eagles at their own 16-yard line. Twins left and right. Shotgun to Beatty. Handoff around the left end. Breaking outside is Kennedy. Stretching out to the 20 far left and is brought down from behind. Close to the first down. He needed to get about 5. I think he got 6, so they're going to move the chains for Kennedy. His best run of the night so far. And that'll be the second first down for the Eagles compared to 11 for Las Cruces. They have to do the hurry-up offense with 20 seconds remaining. Twins left and right at the 22. Back to pass Beatty. 3-step drop. Lost the ball as he tried to throw it. It falls behind him, and it's picked up by Las Cruces. They're going to have to wait and see if they called this a forward motion on the throw or not. I think he was halfway through his throwing motion, and he fumbled it in the backfield, and it's recovered by Las Cruces. Looked like that was Dalen Walter, the middle linebacker. Bad situation because Las Cruces will get 15 seconds to try to score again.
Yeah, and they're in the red zone as well, just, 12 yards to go, and that is going to be another one of those situations where Brock is going to be kicking himself about another possibility of 6 or 7 points because of his mistake.
That's about a 10-yard drop back, too, unfortunately, off the passing attempt. So that's going to give Las Cruces the ball at the 12 in Hobbs territory on the right hash. They lead the Eagles by 13. Twins left and right. Shotgun for Guardiola, going to bring a man in motion left to right. That's Libby, the wide receiver. Lines up right slot. Fakes Del Maro. He wants to throw. Man open at the right goal line, just waiting for it, and he comes down with it. The ball knocked out of his hands late, but they say he had possession for a 12-yard touchdown catch. He just turned around and waited at the goal line near the right pylon.
And right place, right time. Either way, Las Cruces does get this touchdown for a positive note on their drive.
I think that was Winnicott that came down with that one, a 12-yard. And that will be his first touchdown of the game. He's got 3 catches of double digits, though, and will extend the lead to 19, 26-7, pinning the extra point. 9 seconds left here in the second quarter. So a fumble in the backfield, unfortunately, on an attempted pass has hurt the Eagles dearly as we head towards halftime. They missed the last PAT. I guess it was a little bit outside the left upright, as now back out on the field is Dalen Walter to try it this time. His kick is up, and this one is definitely good.
Yep.
So 9 seconds left. We'll take that quick 30-second break. Las Cruces 27, your Eagles 7. Don't leave us. We're back live with more Eagles football on the Hobbs Eagle Network. Back live at Watson Stadium, Ty friend Ron Gunner, Tiffany Stuber back at the station. Eagles, a little bit of a miscue in this late second quarter, now trail 27-7 after a fumble. Las Cruces takes advantage of it on 2 plays, a 12-yard pass coming from Guardiola to Winnicott. Again, 27-7 your score. Eagles will probably get the return, maybe a chance for 1 play on the offensive side. We'll have to wait and see. I think the Las Cruces try to get this one high in the air to run the clock a little bit. And this will be a bouncer at the 20, takes a roll. It gets by Henry, has to chase it back and somersaults into it and downs it at the 10. He lost the read on the ball that time and got through him and all the way back to the 10-yard line. So Hobbs will have just 8 seconds left. That only took 1 second after the touch by Henry, but I guess the eye just came off the football that time.
Exactly. He may have been trying to see what the field was ahead of him and lost contact with the ball.
Hobbs football. 1st and 10 from the close to the 10-yard line on the point of the ball. 8 seconds left in the half. They'll send 2 receivers both sides, and ready for shotgun is Beatty with Kennedy on the left of his shoulders. Give it to Beatty around the right, make it Kennedy on the left side, right side, 15 down to the 20. He's going to get close to the first down, but I think they're going to be just happy to run the clock out here. Did he get out of bounds, though?
No.
Short by about a half a yard, so 9-yard pickup for Kennedy. That's his longest rush of the game so far. He's got 18 yards on the carry, and that will run out the clock as they get the chain set. Actually, I think they gave him a first down. It's a 10-yard pickup. That will be the Eagles' 3rd first down, but no time to run another play. We'll end the first half of action. So Hobbs is pretty much hanging with Las Cruces for quite a long bit of this first half, but the fumble in the backfield caused a big issue as Las Cruces capitalized and lead the Eagles 27-7 at the end of the first half of action. And Ron, big show coming up here at halftime. Everybody's band will be on the field.
Exactly. All middle schools and the high school will be out here performing for all the crowd, and it's going to be a great one. Of course, it's also cheer night as well, so a lot to look forward to in this half.
27-7, your score, Las Cruces. Come back with us in 3 minutes. We'll get you caught up on the stats and look forward to next week's Game 2 of the district schedule against Alamogordo. You're listening live to Hobbs Eagle Football, Colt 95.7, HobbsAmerica.com, and YouTube.
Welcome back to Hobbs Eagle action here at Watson Memorial Stadium, where we are at 27-7. We're watching the band right now. And, of course, we want to thank all of our sponsors, because without them we would not be able to put this on the air and for free, whether it be on the radio or on the internet. Of course, we got to thank First American Bank of Hobbs, Lasco Construction, Miko Services, along with Master Plumbers, TDS, Lee County State Bank, Badger, Thriftway, The Model, Divine Energy, Forest Tire, Devon Energy, Hobbs Express, NMR Pipeline, Eunice Pump and Supply, along with Eastern New Mexico University, Zamara's Car Care, and yes, Emerson Media. All of those, thank you very much once again. We are watching halftime as all the bands are converging together and being able to play. It is a brilliant thing. Once again, Hobbs is trailing, though. That was a bad minute for the Hobbs Eagles, as Las Cruces was able to score 2 touchdowns. Wasn't able to get that first PAT, but still, it is not as close as it used to be. 27-7. We'll be back in just a moment with our stats right here on Cool 95.7.
Back live here at Watson Stadium. Your Hobbs Eagles trail 27-7 to Las Cruces High. Las Cruces start out with the first 2 touchdowns of the game. Amaro, their running back, had an 8-yard run in the first quarter. They only scored the first quarter with 2:14 remaining, made it 7-0. They added an 18-yard run for Amaro, 14-0 with 2:45 left in the second quarter. So that was a 14-0 lead. Hobbs come back quickly, though, at the 2:28 mark and hit that 80-yard pass, Beatty to Beatty. That made it 14-7. Unfortunately, Eagles had a fumble in the backfield pretty quickly after that to make it 20-7, and then it was 27-7 after a 12-yard pass from Winnikoff to put up the 20-point lead here at the half. So they're going to have to clean up some stuff. Maybe a little bit of fatigue as the second quarter drug along there. Hobbs Eagle offense definitely is having some issues right now, just barely over the 100-yard mark. We'll get to that here in just a minute. But the big news so far for Las Cruces, Ron, is that running back, as we mentioned already, Daniel Amaro. We knew coming in he'd have to have a target on his back for the Hobbs Eagle defense. 17 carries, 165 yards. He had a touchdown rush for 18, but more importantly, earlier, an 8-yard run for a touchdown. So he's got 2 rushing TDs, but it had a 67-yard run as well. So he's not a guy that was unexpected. Hobbs is just going to have to shut him down, maybe have to start to bring up some more linebacker looks there to make sure he's not going to shake people off there at the line of scrimmage, but does like to angle a little bit, but does come up the gaps, too, a few times in that first half.
He seems to have some sort of speed where he can get past defenders, and when he does get closer to those defenders, they try to wrap him up, but he just squirms out of it for some reason, just almost like he's covered in lard or something, some sort of slick surface, and he just moves past him pretty quickly and is able to get in the secondary before anybody even realizes.
Yeah, he might be covered in lard, but he doesn't run like lard.
Right, he definitely doesn't do that.
So 165 yards unofficially for his numbers in the rushing stats first half. Guardiola, the quarterback, has actually been dropped in the backfield 3 times by the Hobbs Eagle defense, but did have a 12-yard gain as well, so he's got 4 carries for 3 yards. First half, 21 running plays for Las Cruces for a total of 168 yards. They're also triple digits in the passing game. Winterkoff has caught 4 catches, 44 yards. 3 out of the 4 catches have been for double digits, 12, 11, and 12, and including that touchdown there late in the second quarter. So they're definitely going to have to watch him. Libby has 3 catches for 61 yards, including a 35-yarder for a touchdown and an 18-yarder earlier. And then Amaro coming out of the backfield for 2 catches for 20 yards. So far in the first half, they have a total of 9 of 14 in terms of the passing game for Guardiola, 125 yards. Just shy of the 300-yard mark total offense, 293 for Las Cruces in the first half. They had 4 penalties for 30 yards, punted once, and were turned over on downs once as well, and had 11 first downs compared to 3 for the Hobbs Eagles, and that was a major stat right there. Hobbs, for the longest time, only had 1 first down, and Las Cruces just kept those couple of drives that they had, running the clock, getting a lot of yardage, including that one where they started on the 1-yard line and eventually scored.
Yeah, 99 yards for Las Cruces, but the worst thing about this was the fact that Hobbs had their first and only first down, and that was from a penalty. Otherwise, they hadn't earned themselves a first down. Even after that long touchdown pass, they still didn't have their first down earned.
Ended up with 3, though, and you're talking about that 15-yard late hit penalty against Las Cruces there. Take a look at the Hobbs Eagles' offensive numbers so far. The rushing game not doing too hot so far, 24 yards on the ground total. Marion Kennedy with the majority of that. He's got 6 carries for 19, including a 10-yarder, his longest. Seamus Wright's only carried twice but got 9 yards out of that. It was Gonzalez once for 6. And Beatty, unfortunately, with that fumble that he had in the backfield, minus 10 on that one. So definitely some issues there. They did not call that a passing play, so it does go down as a rush on that one because he did not have the full follow-through on the pass on that play. So they ended up with just 24 yards on the ground so far in the first half. The passing department, only 2 receptions out of 11 attempts. Of course, Beatty to Beatty for 80 yards. Brock hitting Braddock in stride there up the right sideline, a long shot. And then also French got a catch for 4 yards. So once again, 2 for 11 in the passing game for 84 yards. That's a total of 108 in total offense for the Hobbs Eagles. 24 rush, 84 pass. In terms of the first downs, they have 3 and 3 penalties for 25 yards total. Hobbs had to punt 3 times and gave up on downs once in that first half of action. We're going to take another 2-minute break and talk about the keys for the second half. The Eagles to try to get back in this one, trailing Las Cruces 27-7. We got the all-town marching bands out of the field right now with the big show you're probably seeing on the camera. And we're going to keep it here for just a couple of minutes as you can listen to that halftime show. I'll get quiet here for just a couple of minutes. And sending it back to the station now as your Hobbs Eagles and Las Cruces continue here at Watson Stadium.
Is it Taylor Swift themed?
Kids are just kind of blending in with their, I'll just play this note that sounds good, G or A. Back here at halftime, the big marching band show from all the middle schools, freshman school, and of course the Hobbs High marching band on the field. They just wrapped that up. Both teams out stretching out for the second half of action. Las Cruces with a big lead, though, 20 points, 27-7. Ty friend Ron Gunner with you here at Watson Stadium for the first game of district. Tiffany Stuber back at the station, and Tiffany's been feeding us some scores here, Ron. You're going to get those right now.
Exactly, and first one just finished or finalized. It was Tatum and Lordsburg. Lordsburg, of course, on the other side of the state. And that one is finalized, 36-26. Tatum getting that victory, and they needed it too. Third one of the season. Lovington so far at halftime, and Roswell playing Goddard, and it is not even close. I thought it'd be something of a close game, but no, the winning team of Lovington still winning 25-6 at halftime against the Goddard Rockets. Also got a nice little one. Centennial JV coming back a little bit against Jal, but still holding lead is Jal in the second, 20-14 over Centennial. Somehow Jal has their number and always plays well against the Centennial. In fact, last year beat them up pretty bad. And also at halftime, it is the Eunice St. Michael's, where they're in St. Michael's. But St. Michael's is leading right now. After Eunice had 8, St. Michael's has 27 unanswered points. So 27-8 is the score right now at half.
But that game's in Eunice, isn't it, tonight? Home game for the Cardinals?
Actually, you know what? You're right. It is.
I think it is. So lots of Lee County teams in action. And, of course, this game not done yet. 27-7 the score as your Eagles trail by 20. We'll take another 60-second break. Get ready for second half action live on the Hobbs Eagle Network. Finally done with the halftime show. Both teams ready for a second half action. Las Cruces leads the Eagles 27-7. The big numbers so far, we mentioned Amaro for Las Cruces, 165 yards rushing. Top receiver for the Eagles, Braddock Beatty, caught that 80-yard touchdown reception from his brother to make it 80 yards in his column. But right now a 20-point deficit for the Eagles, and they will be kicking off, Ron. So the defense is going to have to be back out on the field, but you got to give them a lot of credit because throughout much of that first half, they were holding up just a 7-0 deficit. One score for Las Cruces in the first quarter, and then Las Cruces didn't score again till about 2:15 left in the second, and then they added on a couple other ones, insurance runs or insurance scores there to get that 20-point lead at the half. But Hobbs Eagle defense has probably got to take a lot of breathers there at the halftime break, get a lot of water and get themselves back in action. But they've been holding their own at least for quite a bit of that first half.
Yeah, and the defense was on the field a lot more than they expected to, but they did have that defensive goal line stance that stopped the Las Cruces Bulldogs, and they have that to hang their hat on. But still, Hobbs trying to get back into the rhythm of things on the offensive side. We're hoping that'll happen. But Las Cruces is getting the ball first.
We did mention, too, teams that tend to do well in the passing game might switch it up a little bit against the Eagles like Artesia does. This time around, it's going from rush to pass for the Bulldogs. They're known more for Amaro just kind of getting those 4 touchdowns on the ground like he normally does in those games so far. The kickoff coming for the Eagles now. It's going to zing back to the goal line and ricochets off the return man. I believe that was Amaro there. Doesn't matter because if it breaks the plane of the end zone there on the goal line, it's automatic touchback, whether it's muffed or not. And that did go off the hands of Amaro. So will be, actually that was Nate Libby, the receiver, that got a piece of that one before it hit the end zone. So they will get it at the 20-yard line. First offensive set here in the second half. Again, we saw 2 of this series in the first half, running a lot of clock off for the Bulldogs there, or should I say Dogs, Ron?
Yeah, and the Dogs are definitely going to start doing the same thing, just chewing on that clock, being able to go down the field as well and see if they can limit the opportunities for the Hobbs Eagles.
They threw for 125 yards in the first half, 168 in the running game. Give it to That running back again, Amaro, he tries to find the gap on the right side, the A gap, and he hits hard, but I don't think he's going to get more. Maybe a forward progress, 2 yards on that one. Not much going on there for the run there, but defensive stop there by Amron Wheeler, defensive end for the Eagles. That'll be a gain of about 1.5 yards for Amaro to make it 167 on the night so far.
Exactly, but Hobbs definitely needed to get that stop, put their offense back on the field and see what they can do.
2nd down and 8 from the 22-yard line. Twins left, receiver right for Las Cruces. Hobbs will stack 3 in the box now, make it 4. Shotgun for Guardiola. Bring a man in motion left to right. That's Libby. Give it around to Libby on the right side, stretching out far right side, the 25, 30, getting close to the first down marker outside the right hash. He needed to get 8. I think he just barely did, maybe 9, as he fell forward on that first down marker.
Yeah, either way, got around the outside, was able to get that first down and move the markers as well.
That'll be his first carry of the ball game. He is a receiver normally, so he got an end around that time, left to right. 8-yard pickup and the 12th first down of the ball game for Las Cruces. Clock management definitely in the hands of the Dogs and their coach Lopez. 1st and 10 now from the 33. Make it the 32. Twins right, receiver left. Delay handoff, pulled back by Guardiola. He wants to throw. He's going to air it out at the far right sideline. The fade, kind of a juggle at the 25 of the Eagles, but losing it the last second. Incomplete. And might have got the ball knocked out of his hands, too, as he went down low. That was Winnicott back there deep, waiting for that football.
Yeah, didn't quite make it to the receiver, but looked like it could have been a big play otherwise. Las Cruces could have been sitting pretty at that point.
9 of 15 in the passing department now. Trying to see who that was out there deep for the Eagles late, or safety, I should say. That was, I believe, Jacob Diaz breaking that one up. 2nd down and 10 now for Las Cruces at their own 32. Shotgun to Guardiola, gives it off to Amaro on the right end. He's going to head outside to the 35, to the 40, and is brought down at the 41 to pick it up about 8.5 on the play. So Amaro continues just to be kind of advancing. He likes to get to the outside the best he can, but this kind of using his blocks to that right side of the field in front of the Las Cruces bench brings up a 3rd down and 2 now from the 40.
Yeah, definitely using his blockers to his advantage and being able to get more yards out of the play. And got close to the first down, but 3rd and short, make it 2.
Right from the right hash now. Clock to 10-11 left, 3rd quarter. It's 27-7. Las Cruces over Hobbs. Single receiver to the left side only. Slot right. Make it double slots now. Give it to Amaro. He's going to head out left to the 40. Stutter steps and falls forward to the 45. Gets enough for the first down. Make it a 5-yard pickup for Amaro. And he's got 3 carries for 15 yards here in the 3rd quarter at 180 overall. Getting close to that 200 mark to move the chains again. 13 first downs for the Dogs.
And Tristan Davis was in on that play, was able to bring him down. But unfortunately not before he got the first down for the Dogs.
Back up to the line of scrimmage, breaking the huddle quickly. Las Cruces sends 2 receivers left, 1 to the right side. Guardiola back in shot. And he's going to bring a man in motion. That is Winnicott to the right side to make it Twins. Hand the ball off to the right angle. Around the end goes Amaro, 45, 50 into Hobbs territory. Cuts it back, spins at the 40 on the right hash, and has another first down. 16 pickup there for Amaro. Make it 17 to move the chains once again.
And once again, the Dogs are just getting more momentum as they start running downfield, and it just keeps getting more and more yards as they progress.
At the Eagle 39, 9:20 ticking here in the 3rd quarter. 20-point lead for Las Cruces. Both teams came in with a 2-2 record, albeit some big games against some 6A opponents for Las Cruces. Cleveland, Rio Rancho, Volcano Vista. Eagles taking on the top 3 teams in the 5A, Artesia, Lovington, and Roswell. Shotgun to Guardiola, hand him around the right end to Amaro. Cuts it back, 35, 30, continues across a pile, and has another first down, 12 yards, again for Amaro.
And one of the things that I was hoping that would be an advantage for Hobbs is Las Cruces had a 1-1 record on the road, but so far they're not playing like that at all.
Ball's marked at the 28 of the Eagles on the right hash. Getting into that red zone area now with 8:50 and ticking in the 3rd. Las Cruces not worrying about the hurry-up offense now, just want to run the clock as best they can. Twins right, receiver left, far side here in front of the Hobbs Eagle bench. Guardiola with a hard snap count. Brings a man in motion right to left. That's one of his wide receivers now. There goes Amaro again. Stops in the backfield and heads back to the left to the 30. He's going to stretch it out to the 25, near sideline for the Hobbs Eagle bench, out at the 21. Needed to get to about the 18, and he's going to get about another 9 on that carry. He started to head towards the right, put on his flat feet in the backfield, and then cut back to the left. He'll get 9 on that one.
Yeah, he did, and it looked like he was going to get caught in the backfield at one point, but then changed directions, went the other way, and gained that big yardage.
2nd down and 9, ball at about the 20-yard line. About 1.5 yards he needs to get for the first down. Marked at the left hash. Actually put it right on the 20 there. Did get out of bounds to stop the clock. And not what Las Cruces wants to do, though. Now they're going to go back to a shotgun again. Double slots. Single setback is Amaro. He'll get the handoff. Goes up the gut. Right A hole there. And is going to just charge straight ahead. He needed to get about 2. And it looks like he does get 3 on that one for the first down.
They're slow on the markers, though, right now. But actually, it looks like he got back. No, he did get close to the first down.
His knee looks like they might have been down. They're going to probably look at the yard markers. They're going to go ahead and roll it a first down as they check it to the far sideline. Does the white cap. So that'll be the 16th first down of the game for Las Cruces. Now at the Hobbs Eagle 18-yard line on the left hash.
But unfortunately for Hobbs, just unable to stop this offense. And they definitely need to stop at this point as now they're in the red zone.
Actually, that was the 17th first down for Las Cruces. 8 minutes and going here in the third. 27-7, a 20-point Las Cruces lead. Last year, Las Cruces came and won here in Watson Stadium. Shotgun to Guardiola. Angle left and breaking a tackle, spinning to the 15. Backpedaling as well as Amaro to the Hobbs Eagle sideline on the left. It's another positive pickup, bouncing off a couple of tacklers that time. And Amar looks like he's picked up another 5 there.
And he did it awkwardly, too. Was able to do it on one foot at sometimes, was just able to move forward. And that's all you need to do is just keep moving forward and progressing and getting those extra yards.
61 yards and carries in the second half. That's going to put him over the 200 mark now for the game. 2nd down and 5 at the Hobbs Eagle 13-yard line. 27-7 lead for Las Cruces. Twins left, receiver right in the receiving core. Bring that man in motion left to right. That's Libby. Give the handoff to Libby around the right end. He tries to cut it back to the right hash and gets out to the 5. That will move the chains again. 7 to make an 8-yard pickup for Libby. That's his second carry, the same amount of yards he had in the last end around for 16 total now. And the 18th first down for Las Cruces.
And that brings them back again to 1st and goal. Once again, Hobbs can block them and stop them, but they haven't done it so far this drive. Bulldogs have just been able to move the ball at will.
Las Cruces open up this game 14-0 before Hobbs got the 80-yard pass from Braddock Beatty, or to Braddock Beatty, to make it 14-7 back in the first half. Twins right, receiver left. Man in motion right to left. Fake the handoff, and now they give it to Amaro instead up the middle. He was the tailback. Fake the handoff to the receiver right to left, Francisco Winnikoff. And just kind of falling forward was Amaro. Looks like he gets just 1 yard. Again, it was a goal situation. And that's going to bring up a 2nd and goal now from the 4 from that right hash. So Las Cruces trying to just let that clock run as much as possible as they stay in the huddle with that 20-point lead here in the third. Take their time to get up the line of scrimmage. Eagles have their back against the wall here. I formation, first time we've seen that tonight. Man in motion from right to left, the receiver. And once again, that is Winnikoff. It's going to be taken by the quarterback himself, angling right. No, did he hand off in the last second? I think he gave it to Amaro, a little flick over to the right.
Yeah, it was thrown back and also thrown back for another loss. We've seen this before with the Dogs where they try to go back and get some momentum going forward, and they get caught in the backfield for a loss.
A little flip out there to the right side, and it's a -1 on that one for Amaro.
2, actually.
So -2 on the play, and brings up another goal situation. 3rd down and goal from the 7. Actually, the 6.5-yard line. 2 receivers sent to the Hobbs Eagles side of the sideline on the left, and 1 receiver right. Shotgun back to Guardiola. 2-step drop. He wants to throw. Pump fakes. Throw a high one. The out route to the sideline, and it's going to be bobbled at about the 2. A lot of contention going on as the pass was intended for Francisco Winnikoff and had some contention up high in the air that time from the Hobbs Eagle defender. Javen Hernandez that got a piece of it to punch it out at the 2-yard line high in the air, incomplete for the Dogs.
Yeah, once again, a goal line stance from Hobbs. They have at least that to hang their hat on 2 times where Hobbs is able to stop the Dogs from scoring at such close range.
Las Cruces 9 of 16 in the passing game, meaning a 4th down situation from the 7. They'll be kicking it on the attempt for a field goal about the 13, so a 23-yard field goal attempt coming for Dalen Walter. Good snap, the kick is up, and it is good inside the right upright. 23-yard field goal for Walter, and extends the lead now to 30-7 here in the 3rd quarter. 5:03 remaining, 30-7 your score. Las Cruces over Hobbs. We'll be back in 30 seconds on the Hobbs Eagle Network.
Welcome back as we're at Watson Stadium. Las Cruces just kicked a field goal, and now it is 30-7, and Hobbs is going to get the ball. Hopefully they'll be able to move down the field to get some scoring, but right now with the call, here it is, Ty Friend.
Don't forget, next week the Eagles on the road for their 2nd game of district at Alamogordo. We'll have that one at 6:40 with the pregame show. Kickoff at 7.
And I can tell you right now, Alamogordo is struggling against Oregon Mountain. They're playing in Las Cruces, and it is so far 18-3 at the half.
The Dogs getting ready to kick off for Las Cruces High from the 40 left hash. Sidewinder, then kind of rolls up in front and bounces off the knees of the Eagle return man at the 15. That's the 2nd time that's happened. I believe that's Henry as he tried to scoop up one earlier, and that time it hits the ground and bounces off his shin or knee there and rolls up a little bit forward. So he had to go scramble for it before Las Cruces could swamp over the top, but they will get it at the 20-yard line. So kind of an equivalent of a touchback that time, but not the way Henry wants to get it.
Exactly. That's at least 3 times where it seems like special teams is just not clicking for Hobbs. They are able to keep the ball, but just not able to advance it any further than what they have now.
30-7 the score. Las Cruces leading by 23 with exactly 5 minutes left 3rd quarter. Twins left and right. Back in shotgun is Beatty. Waiting for that shotgun snap. They're going to all take a look at the sideline now for the Hobbs Eagle decision on the play call here. Gets the snap, and now going to run left and try to go back up the middle. Fumbling the football. I believe that was Justice French who had just stepped in on that direct snap. He's going to go back in the backfield and take a knee as he tried to scoop up that fumble as the shotgun snap going behind him that time.
Yeah, tried to get the ball moving forward, run, but instead was hit by a defender and ended up popping out and just had to get the ball just covered up and take the loss.
Actually, though, that's number 10 out there. I don't have a number 10 on the roster. We'll have to find out who that is that's in the backfield. That's a loss of 2 regardless for the Eagles. Ready for that shotgun snap. Twins left and right. Good snap. Handoff coming around the left end, trying to bounce outside and get met by a wall in the backfield. Las Cruces sends everybody after him that time. Hopefully maybe gets back to the line of scrimmage, and I believe that the ball carrier for the Eagles on that one. So they're mixing things up just a little bit. That was Austin Chavarria. He's going to lose another 3, though.
Yeah, it's now it's 3rd and 15 deep in their own territory. They're moving backwards, not forwards. And Hobbs looking to find any kind of situation or solution in this problem.
3rd down and 15 from the 15. Back to pass. Going to try to scamper left, heading outside to the 15, 20, 25, and actually brought down at the 24-yard line. So got back some of that negative yardage, but a couple extra on top of that, an 8-yard pickup. As we continue to try to find out who that number 10 is out there right now. And that'll be a 4th down and 7 for the Eagles at their own 23-yard line. So offense is having some issues here. This could be the 4th punt of the ball game for the Eagles.
And Beatty is back there for the kick, so he's not injured or anything, so we're not sure exactly. Maybe they tried to switch it up a little bit, see if they can get some offensive momentum going, and it didn't quite work.
Good snap. Beatty will punt it from about the 13-yard line, and it's going to go out of bounds. It looks like it might be shy of the 50, so that'll give Las Cruces the football in Hobbs Eagle territory. We'll take a quick 30-second break and come back live on the Hobbs Eagle Network.
Welcome back to action here at Watson Stadium as we've got this game 30-7. And Las Cruces has the ball with the call. Here is Ty Friend.
Guardiola hands it off to Amaro. He gets bounced into at the line of scrimmage, angling right. Eagles put up the big front defensive look there. And we'll see how many yards they give him on that one.
Back to the line of scrimmage, and maybe nothing more than that.
Thanks, a nice chest shot there for the Eagles front line. You got to give credit to Ivan Vargas, the 5'11", 240 defensive lineman on the left. So no gain on the play for Amaro. So Amaro continues to light it up, getting close to 200 yards rushing. 2nd down and 10 now from the Eagle 37-yard line. Back to shotgun Guardiola. He's going to fake the handoff to Amaro. He wants to throw. Fade route down the left corner near the end zone and bounces off the backhand of the receiver trying to reach back for Francisco Winikoff. A little bit thrown behind him by about a yard. He was going shoulder pad to shoulder pad with his defender, Adrian Mora, down near the goal line. So that was a chuck of about 44 yards on the play towards that left goal line, but incomplete for Guardiola.
Seems like Guardiola has tried that one before, and it just does not come up as a winning situation. But nevertheless, still continues to try.
They have not completed a pass here in the second half now. 9 of 17 in the passing game. 3rd down and 10 from the Eagle 37. Shotgun, Guardiola by himself in the backfield. Trips left, receivers 2 to the right. Back to pass, 3-step drop, has pressure. Tries to zing it to the line of scrimmage and breaking a tackle after a catch. Not even sure how he kept his hands on that one. That's going to be a fall forward for about an 8-yard pickup. Wouldn't be surprised if that was Amaro once again. I believe that's who it was. So they give him 8 on that play. Good hands on the catch for Amaro. 3rd catch for 28 yards total for the running back.
But
4th down and 2.
short.
Yeah, 4th and short from the 30, make it the 29-yard line of the Eagles. On the right hash are the Dogs with 150 left here in the 3rd. Hobbs down 30-7. Delay now for the Eagles as they, or make it the Bulldogs as they look to the sideline to get the last second play change here. Good snap. Handoff to Amaro. Heads to the far right side of the 30. Gets bounced around and throwing his body over the top of the last defender. And he's going to be close to the 1st down. Apparently the line judge on that far sideline is going to give him the 2 he needed.
Exactly. Just broke the plane on that one and got past it for the 1st down. Once again, Las Cruces just being able to move the ball at will.
19 first downs for Las Cruces, keeping that clock running with 1:30 left, 3rd quarter. On the right hash, 1st and 10 from the Eagle 27. And boy, they can control the clock in this game, Ron.
Exactly, and a little bit more points, and they can also have mercy rule on their side as well.
2 receivers head left, 2 to the right side for the Dogs. Back in shotgun goes Guardiola. He has Amaro back with him. Eagles going to bring some blitzing action. They're going to throw it to the out route on the far right sideline, caught at the 20. As Libby gets his hands on it quickly, turned his head on a swivel to catch that ball. He's out close to the 1st down marker. Going to give him 8 at the 20-yard line on that far right sideline.
Another positive yardage for the Dogs. And once again, got it really close to the 1st down, but 2nd and short, though.
Only thing I'm sure they'd like to have back is that he got out of bounds. Coach Lopez wants that clock to run. 4 catches for 69 yards for Libby. 2nd down and 2 now for Las Cruces at the Eagle, right at the 20-yard line on that right hash. Clock stopped with 1 minute left, 3rd quarter. Eagles down by 23. Twins left and right. Going to bring a man in motion right to left. Now going to make him a right slot. And Amaro gets it again around that right end, 20. Nothing spectacular, the same play calls. And that's going to be close to a 1st down. Needed to get 2 to about the 17. And they're going to give him 3 to move the chains for Amaro.
Yeah, just doing what they need to do, just enough, or as the hurdler would do, just over the hurdle, just barely, but getting it 1st down.
20 first downs for Las Cruces now at the Eagle 16-yard line. Clock down to 45 left in the 3rd. Go Twins left, receiver right. Guardiola with a hard snap count. Getting a little shift from one of their receivers on the left side into that slot look. They're going to try to give the handoff, and they've got a lot of bodies running around in the backfield. Not sure they had a procedure possibly here on this call.
I think it's a false start on the quarterback with that arm gesture there.
Yeah, he moved his, kind of pushed his body forward, and the receiver tried to come back around. Looked like they might have been trying to run a reverse from the right receiver. Then it looked like Amaro didn't know where he was supposed to go, the tailback in the backfield. It will be a 5-yard penalty. It's been penalty-free in the second half until that one just there. First penalty for 5 yards for either team, and been keeping it kind of clean with those yellow handkerchiefs.
Yeah, and that's not going to really slow them down. I mean, it's going to slow them down a little bit, but the Dogs have seemed to be moving forward, and even with that little 5-yarder, it's not going to stop them much.
And more importantly, chewing the clock. 1st and 15 now from the Eagle 21 right hash. Shotgun, Twins right, receiver left. Bring a man in motion to the left side to make it Twins. Shotgun to Guardiola, handoff to Morrow. He chucks it up to the 20, continues to pump up that right hash, and is getting across to the 15. So picks up the penalty yardage, and I think just enough 5 on that one. And that will end the first or third quarter clock as we'll have a final 12 minutes left in this one. Las Cruces holding on to a 23-point lead, 30-7 over the Hobbs Eagles. Stay with us. More Eagles action coming up here on Cool 95.7, HobbsAmerica.com, and YouTube. Welcome back to Watson Stadium. Game 1 of the district schedule, but Game 5 for the Hobbs Eagles as they take on Las Cruces. Both teams came in at 2-2 overall, but right now the Eagles down 30-7 to Las Cruces. Both these teams close in the coaches poll. Hobbs sitting at number 7 and Las Cruces at number 5. Max Preps poll, Las Cruces 5, Hobbs 6. Top 10 teams, both of these squads. Albuquerque Journal had this as the number 1 game to watch in the state, and unfortunately the Eagles at the short end of the stick, at least going into the fourth quarter.
Yeah, Lopez had a record of 5-2 against Hobbs, the Eagles, and weirdly enough, though, he lost both of those in Las Cruces. He's been perfect so far in Watson Stadium.
Amaro with the running back, 220-plus yards in this game so far. He has a couple of rushing touchdowns and a long of 67. Las Cruces football, 2nd down and 8 from the Hobbs Eagle 15 right hash. Guardiola fakes the handoff up the middle, clips it around the left end on the pitch to Libby on the end around. He's across the 15, 10, 5 into the end zone for the touchdown. But I think we got a block in the back on Las Cruces halfway through that reverse. And the official Whitecap is the guy that's got it. We'll have to wait and see. They're going to call a holding penalty on the Las Cruces Dogs.
Yeah.
So that'll be a 10-yarder, so bring it all back. That would have been a touchdown. Nice little play call there for Coach Lopez. Little trickery. They faked the handoff up the middle to Amara, and they had the receiver coming from right to left behind the quarterback, but a hold about halfway through that run.
Also looked like we had a Eagles shaken up for a moment on the defensive side. But he is able to get up and walk it off, so to speak, so no injury timeout needed.
So a 10-yard mark-off against the Eagles. Here in the fourth quarter, it's 30-7 Las Cruces.
And it looked like there was a reason why that guy was open and able to score at ease, and that's the reason why, simply because of a hold. So, yeah, so take that back, and luckily for Hobbs, no score against them, at least for Las Cruces.
2nd down and 15 now for Las Cruces. They have the ball at the Eagle 24-yard line. 23-point lead for the visiting squad. Trips left, 1 receiver right for Las Cruces. Shotgun for Guardiola. Takes the good snap, 2-step drop, make it 3 now. Steps up and fires in the pocket. A drag route from right to left up the 15, 10, left hash 5, and diving towards the goal line. Is that a touchdown or not? We'll have to wait and see. Yes, he broke the plane. 23 yards for the score off the drag route.
We got another Eagle down again, getting up very slowly.
And the score is going to be coming from Libby that time. His 2nd touchdown. He had one for 35 in the first half. Has now 5 catches for 92 yards. Getting close to that 100 mark, but extends the lead to 29.
And not where Hobbs wanted to be any time during this game. Wanted to get this first district game to be closer than what it is.
In the fourth quarter here, first score of this quarter. As we wait the PAT attempt by Dalen Walter. Kick is up. And it is good. 11:43 remaining here in the fourth. Las Cruces extends their lead to 30, 37-7 over the Hobbs Eagles. We'll take a 60-second break and come back live on HobbsAmerica.com, YouTube on the internet, and Cool 95.7 on the radio.
Welcome back to Watson Stadium as we are watching once again Hobbs getting the ball, but they are down 37-7 and they are running out of time. We're in the fourth quarter, and with the call here is Ty Friend.
So another passing touchdown for Guardiola as he hooked up with Libby the second time tonight. Those two have connected for TDs. 35 and 23-yarder for Libby. The other touchdown in the passing game, Winikoff had one for 12 yards. Amaro with 2 rushing touchdowns for Las Cruces, 18 and 8 yards. Ready for the Eagles' kick return here as they do trail by 30. They got to get that offense ready to go quickly with the fourth quarter on us right now. Long kick back to the 4-yard line. It'll be returned by French at the 10 with the little starburst action. Hands it off at the 10 to the 15 to the 20, and that'll be back to the 21-yard line. The final man with the football for the Eagles after the starburst was Seamus Wright. And Hobbs will have the football at the 21. The new quarterback out there, Junior Medrano. Oh, we got a block in the back, though, against the Eagles. So that will be a 10-yard mark-off. Only the first penalty of the second half for the Eagles. They have 4 total for 35 yards. So Junior Medrano is the quarterback. I'd like to thank Jason Farmer from the Hobbs Sun. He had to do a couple of phone calls there to try to find out who that guy was because nobody showed him up on any of the rosters. So definitely thanks to him on that one. Junior Medrano, we'll see if he's still out there, number 10.
Looks like it.
Yep, he does. He gets a handoff around the right end. Wait to see who's got the football on this one. So a little bit of a different look as we on the last series for Hobbs with Medrano coming in. We don't know why that's the case either. What we saw a punt, as you mentioned earlier, too, coming from Beatty. That was Kennedy that gets up ahead. He's going to get 5 on that carry and been kind of quiet here in the second half. Kennedy has been in terms of the running game. His first carry of the second half, first carry of the 7th carry of the game for him for 24 yards. Back to pass, a post route intercepted at the 25, brought up to the 20, near sideline to the right 15, and brought to the 14-yard line, out of bounds. And there's a late flag coming on the sideline. We've had a couple of those in this ball game. The pickoff for Las Cruces, INT by Isaac Gomez.
And it could be a late hit. It was beyond the out of bounds, so that happened afterwards. Of course, we'll see in just a moment who gets that call.
Las Cruces had one earlier, a 15-yarder on that same sideline for the Hobbs Eagle bench. Ball was picked off around the 28-yard line or so and brought back to about the 14 on that near right side in front of the Hobbs bench. Las Cruces going left to right on the radio dial. Officials having a little powwow now, 3 of them at least on the near sideline to try to figure out where this mark-off's going to be. If it's against the Eagles, it'll be half the distance, so that would bring it about the 7-yard line. If it's against Las Cruces, that would back it up to the 31.
And that'd just be insult to injury if it is against the Eagles.
Actually, 29, I should say. Personal foul, Hobbs. It'll be declined. A personal foul against, 2 personal fouls on the Eagles. They accept 1, so that will be half the distance. I mentioned that already, to the 7-yard line, so they will take the 1 penalty. So 2 personal fouls. Again, that may mean against 2 different players there. It only comes down to 7 total yards, though, on the half the distance. But going to give some good field position here for Las Cruces after the first INT of the ball game. Hobbs in this contest, Ron, 2 for 12 in the passing game after almost 300 yards last week in the win against El Paso Parkland.
And haven't had a single one in this second half, which is very unusual for them. And the change of the quarterback, we weren't expecting that either.
Yeah, Junior Medrano, the one unfortunately throwing the interception. I formation underneath the center is Guardiola. Going to pitch it left. Here comes Amaro. Heading to the left hash, tries to cut it back, and is dropped at about the 3-yard line. So about a 4, maybe 5-yard pickup for Amaro.
Yeah.
And he's over the 200-yard mark in this ball game. He had 165 at the half. 2 rushing touchdowns for him, and he's usually getting about 4 rushing touchdowns a game against some of the top teams in the 6A.
And that was definitely a team effort. It looked like he was going to get stuck at the 5. Made it down to about the 2.
Looks like they're going to, about 2.5 is where they're going to end up with it on that left hash. Las Cruces taking a lot of time in the huddle now. 10:38 left here in the 4th. I'm not sure why the clock isn't running, though. Now the Whitecap finally noticing that it wasn't running, so he's going to make it move. It's 37-7. Las Cruces up by 30. If they scored here, Ron, we would get it into the mercy rule, unfortunately, for Hobbs here at Watson Stadium.
And that would be insult to injury on that one. It just seems like the wheels just fell off in this third quarter once again. And Hobbs just unable to answer anything that Las Cruces has put up.
Yeah, last year they scored 21 points in the third, coming away with the victory here at Watson was Las Cruces. Guardiola underneath the center from the three, pitch it left. New back is going to get it. He tries to go hard to that left side of the goal line and plunging down towards the goal, putting his head down, was Jackson Alba, his first run of the game. Do they say he scored? Waiting to see the signal. Yep, they're going to give it to him. 3-yard rush for a touchdown. Jackson Alba coming on that left end. So his first rush of the ball game, I'm sure he's a pretty happy camper after getting that one. 3-yard score. And that will make it a mercy rule situation, 43-7. It looks like a Hobbs Eagle flat on his back there on that left side, on his stomach at least. Pretty much where the final push was for Alba.
And once again, not a good sign for the Hobbs Eagles, just all around. Got a lot of stuff to work on for next week's game against Alamogordo in Alamogordo.
Thanks to our Hobbs Eagles sponsors, radio and internet broadcasts, Eastern New Mexico University, Eunice Pump and Supply, NMR Pipeline, the Hobbs Express, Devon Energy, Forest Tire. Also sponsoring First American Bank, Lasco Construction, MICD Services, Master Plumbers, TDS, Lee County State Bank, Badger, Thriftway Grocery, The Model, Zamora's Car Care, and Ampersand Media. Again, Hobbs Eagles sponsors keep these games on the radio and the internet for free for all the fans out there. And you notice with the big internet market now, lots of different companies are charging just to see these internet feeds. And of course, a couple national companies doing it as well. Not normal, no mark broadcasting, because you watch these games for free on the internet.
And you also got to make sure that you are aware of who does the games and who is just a spam. Sometimes there's a lot of announcements that say they do the games, they show them to you live for free, but it's just a scam. So make sure before you click any kind of link at all that it is legit. And speaking of legit, looks like Jal Panthers are legit after starting their season 0-3 again, especially one against the Hobbs JV where they lost to them. They have are winning right now against the Centennial JV. It is now 40-14 in the third quarter, and they're looking pretty strong as the game continues on.
Again, you mentioned next week the Eagles will travel to Alamogordo. We'll have that game at 6:40 on the pregame show. And the kickoff at 7, HobbsAmerica.com and YouTube. That is what you need to be looking for, is HobbsAmerica.com, to know you're getting the right connection for Hobbs Eagle football. We're still trying to find out who the injured player is, flat on his stomach there on the left goal line, trying to get that stop on the ball carrier there to stop the touchdown from happening. Looks like they're getting him up now, and he's getting some help from all the coaching staff. Looks like number 6 for the Eagles, that is Marari Orozco, defensive back. And hate to judge what he's doing, but it looks like he's pulling that right leg pretty gingerly there as he's getting some help from his whole bunch of athletic staff out there right now.
And he's a senior too, so you know he's putting it all out on the line out there in tonight's game.
Coach Stevens was out there as well. A couple of other coaches out helping their defensive player.
Also got an update from Eunice in the third quarter. St. Michael's still leading that one 34-8. Eunice just unable to score anything at all after that first opportunity where they had an 8-0 lead early in that game.
So ready for the PAT. Looks like out on the field again to kick is Dalen Walter. Been out there quite a few times tonight. Missed one PAT earlier off to the left of the upright. Missed a field goal, critical one a few weeks back in a very close game with Volcano Vista. Ended up losing by 4 to that squad, who's ranked in the top 5 in the state right now. So here we go for the PAT. Hopefully get a quick recovery there from our Hobbs Eagle, Marari Orozco. Kick is up, and it is good. 10:02 left here in the fourth. It will go to mercy rule timing, though. Be running on incompletes, out of bounds, etc. 44-7 as Las Cruces up 37 in this contest at Watson Stadium. We'll take a quick 30-second break, come back with more Hobbs Eagle football on the Hobbs Eagle Network. Back live here at Watson Stadium after a Hobbs Eagle injury, and unfortunately Orozco leaving the game. It is now 44-7. Las Cruces scoring off that 3-yard run for Alba. And the Eagles getting ready to return the touchdown. Definitely want to get the score as quickly as possible to keep the clock going for Mercy Roll. It's right now going to be, as soon as this kickoff goes, it will continue to run, even out of bounds and incomplete passes. So time is not to the advantage of the Eagles in this one. Long kick coming deep to the 3-yard line. Will be returned up the middle. Got a little of that trickery action going on, the starburst. And the handoff coming around the left side to the 15. No, 14. They're going to go down quickly with that one for the Eagles. And I believe the guy with the football for Hobbs, was that Seamus Wright, I believe, got his number kind of scrunched up there as he got pulled down to the turf.
Yeah, you may be right about that one, but still nothing seems to be going the Hobbs way as this one just keeps going into the hole further and further.
Las Cruces definitely getting some good point production. They have had the last 5 touchdowns after the Eagles got that 80-yard pass from Beatty to Beatty. They've scored 5 consecutive scores. No points on the board for the Eagles since that time. That was back in the second quarter, late in the first half. Eagle football, Twins right, and a man in motion from left to right. Rodriguez back to pass, moving left, trying to find somebody open up the near sideline to the 15 and get thrown out of bounds. Junior Medrano. And he had to do a lot of lateral running to get away from the pressure, so not as many yards as he wanted to get forward, but he does get some. Looks like 4 yards on the pickup for Medrano.
But Medrano lost his helmet, but he did lose it off out of bounds, so he is back in the game to try again.
Medrano coming in for Beatty. We're not sure why that happened, but 2nd down and 6 now. He's got 3 carries for 10 yards. Ball at the 16, or make it the 18-yard line of the Eagles on the left hash. Shotgun, Medrano fakes the throw to the left and decides to throw it anyway. The catch made on the near sideline left and trying to get up the field, but right in front of the Hobbs Eagle bench got scrunched. Gabriel Henry.
It was grabbed as soon as he got the ball, so no gain on that one as far as any run after the catch.
Stop was made by Dallas Davis, the DE, defensive end. They say he lost a yard on that one, so -1. That's the first reception of the second half. Eagles now 3 for 13 in the passing game, and that one -1. So not the way you want to get the passing game reestablished with a negative shot there, but he did come down with the football, which is the best part. 8:20 left in the contest. 44-7. Eagles down by 37. Trips right, receiver left. Medrano back to pass, got pressure, gets up the middle, then tries to head left, and he's going to meet 3 white jerseys to swamp him down. And getting a piece of him first for Las Cruces was Colin Bannister, DE, defensive end again. Another defensive end taking care of it.
Looked like that was a blitz from Las Cruces as they tried to catch the offense off guard. And he was trying to get past them, but just was not able to get any gain.
No gain on the play, as you said, 0 on that one. And now Beatty comes back in. Again, if he was injured, you wouldn't think he'd be punting. So just maybe just trying to get a different look out there for the Eagles offense. 7:38 and ticking here with the Mercy Roll clock. Las Cruces leading Hobbs 44-7 in the 4th. Beatty back at the 3. Gets the snap and the kick from the 5. It's a low bouncer up the sideline and going to bounce out about the 46. Still, Las Cruces will have it in Hobbs Eagle territory as that ball got away from Beatty on that one. So going to be Las Cruces' turn to get it back with a 37-point lead as the clock will continue to run in the Mercy Roll. So Hobbs is punted for the 4th time tonight. Clock is stopped for some reason right now.
Other than change of possession, and then once the offense is out on the field, it should start again.
They're going to mark it at the 47 in Hobbs territory, Las Cruces football. And now they're going to get the clock restarted. The whole squad is sprinting for Las Cruces from the sideline to line up on the football. Again, I think you're going to see a lot of handoffs here. I wouldn't be surprised to see new personnel in the backfield, but I do see Guardiola back there, the quarterback still. I think there's a new running back with him, though. One receiver right side, one to the left, and a slot left as well. We got a stoppage of action here before the snap. Maybe a delay of game. Nope, timeout call. Hobbs is going to get their defense adjusted here. 6:59 left in the 4th. We'll take a quick 30-second break as Las Cruces leads 44-7 of the Eagles. Come back with us in half a minute on the Hobbs Eagle Network. After the Hobbs Eagle defensive timeout, Las Cruces football, 1st and 10 from the Eagle 47. They do have Alba back there who scored that 3-yard rushing touchdown, so the big kid that's been in most of the game is taking a breather. Handoff up the middle. Alba just kind of spins himself right through the middle of the field there and gets across the 45. Pickup of 2. 2 carries for 5 yards total for Alba. Still in Hobbs territory at the 44 on the right hash. Just going to try to run some clock. Actually going to say that's just a yard pickup for Alba. Clock to 6:30 left here in the 4th. Hobbs down 44-7. 37-point lead, which means Mercy roll of 35 plus 2 on that. Twins left, receiver right side in front of the Hobbs Eagle bench. Guardiola trying to get all his receivers set properly. They're going to move another guy to the right side. Now make it a Twins look. Long snap count. Guardiola going to hesitate, give the ball off, and trying to scamper to the left side, but meets a bunch of black jerseys. Not really for sure where he wanted to go with that one was Alba in the backfield. He's going to be a loss of about, looks like 4 yards.
At least 4 yards, and if Hobbs had it their way, it'd be more than that. But gave him forward progress, of course, and they gave him a couple yards.
2 linemen getting through there quickly for the Eagles. And looks like it's a bunch of new numbers out there that were not showing up on the roster, 74 and 64.
Could be JV.
And neither one of those guys are showing on the current roster. So, again, we had to go hunt down the backup quarterback for the Eagles that came in earlier, Medrano, of course. 3rd down and 13 now. I'm going to give it to the quarterback on the shotgun. He tries to head outside in the left, coming around the end and trying to get back to the original line of scrimmage and gets the negative yardage back that he just lost a few seconds ago. And that was the quarterback. Actually, no, that might have been a new guy they got in there. Looks like Hunter Parmenter, backup quarterback in there. He gets 3 on that one. So Parmenter's first carry of the game.
So back to the original line of scrimmage, and it's 4th and 10, and it looks like they may be punting. The Bulldogs are.
So we got backup quarterbacks for both teams in the game now. Not in the game, but have been in the contest here in the 4th quarter. They will punt, as you said. 4th down and 10. Good snap. Kick from the 42. Going to be towards that far right sideline and takes the roll out of bounds at about the 15. We'll see where they mark it. Hobbs have another offensive possession, but they have to deal with the clock. Mercy roll clock at 4:33 remaining. Once they get it set, they'll get it started up once again. Hobbs down by 37. So 35 is a mercy roll. Got to get it past that extra 2 points that they need to get underneath here to try to get back in this game.
It's not the way Hobbs wanted to start this district play, definitely, and just going to see if they can write it out, maybe get some positive yards out of this one, but definitely not going the Hobbs way.
Jason Farmer just telling us from the Hobbs Sun that there's a wrist injury for Beatty. He's able to punt but not able to throw, so that's why he's been subbed out here in the 4th quarter. Thanks to Mr. Parrish on that one. 1st and 10 for the Eagles at their own 16-yard line, trailing by 37. Twins left and right. As waiting for the shotgun. Medrano going to roll left and hand it off at the last second up the middle. Getting spun around after getting across the line was Kennedy. And hopefully he fell forward for some yards on that one. Looks like at least 2 for Kennedy. That's his 8th carry of the game for 26 yards. Clock's going to run, though, at 3:50 remaining. Hobbs right back up the line of scrimmage. Twins left, receiver right.
Last time I checked, Alamogordo was still losing 18-3 to Oregon Mountain. That was the 4th quarter.
That's next week's opponent for the Eagles. Delay handoff, coming up the gut again, breaking across the 25. 6-yard pickup, maybe 7. And that's going to be Seamus Wright. So he picks up 7 for the Eagles. Actually, no, they got a new guy in there. Sorry about that. That's Xavier Garcia, I believe they put in. So a bunch of new guys being inserted in the lineup. 3rd down and about 1.5 yards for the Eagles. They're at their own 27-yard line. They got some confusion in the backfield as they try to hand it off, and then instead taking it himself, the quarterback around the left end, Medrano. He kind of stutter-stepped in front of his running back that time in the backfield and broke out to the left, luckily, before the defense got through the line. And that's going to be 7 yards for Medrano.
And the first time, more importantly. But, yeah, it looked like it was going to be a handoff, and instead miscommunication on that one. But he did make positive yardage out of that.
That'll be the Eagles' 4th first down of the ball game. They've only got 1 in this second half, or make it 2. 1st and 10 now from their own 35. Clocked at 2:38 remaining. 44-7 your score. Twins left, receiver right. Medrano taking the shotgun snap. Staggered eye as they give her handoff for on the right end and trying to extend it outside and not able to do much with it for the Eagles was Seamus Wright. He does fall forward for about a 2-yard pickup on the forward progress for Wright. So he's going to have 4 carries for 18 yards in this game. 2nd down and 8 now from the Eagle 37. Clock down to 2:10 remaining on the Mercy Roll clock. Eagles going to drop to 2-3 on the season, and Las Cruces to improve to 3-2, but more importantly, 1-0 in the district. Twins left, receiver right. Medrano waiting for that shotgun with that staggered eye on the left of his shoulder. Looks back at the white cap for some reason and still waiting for the snap. Give it up to the fullback up the gut on that left hash of the 40, taking a plow action across the defensive front of Las Cruces. About 6-7 yard pickup there. That's Gonzalez with the carry for Hobbs. Ricky Gonzalez.
Brings up 3rd and 1.
That'll be 3 carries for 15 yards for Gonzalez. 3rd down and short from the 30. Make that the 44-yard line. Still on the left hash in their side of the field. Shotgun. Medrano back to pass. Wants to roll right at the 40. Stagger steps, and he's going to chuck it to the flag route to the sideline. It looks like it might have been caught at the 25. We'll see if they're going to count that as a catch. That's going to be 32 yards on the reception on that far right sideline.
That's the 2nd best play that Hobbs has had this game so far. And definitely for positive yards and another 1st down.
And that was a connection, I believe, to Garcia that caught that one on that far side. 32 yards. That's the 4th reception on 14 attempts for the Eagles. That'll be the 5th 1st down. Medrano back to pass. 2-step drop back at the 30 in Las Cruces territory. The post route caught at the 10, 5, towards the end zone, and a touchdown. Taking a bunch of guys with him, Isaiah Rodriguez. That's a 24-yard shot on the post route for the TD.
So Hobbs does finish on a positive note getting that score, but still, at least they get it under Mercy Rule now.
That's Rodriguez's first catch of the game for 24 yards and a touchdown. And now the score 44-13 with 33 seconds left here in the 4th. Getting ready for the PAT. Good snap, the kick is up, and the kick is good. As putting that through the uprights for the Hobbs Eagles was Braddock Beatty. 33 seconds left, 4th quarter. It's Las Cruces 44, your Hobbs Eagles 14. We'll take a quick 30-second break and come back more with Hobbs Eagle football on the Hobbs Eagle Network. Late 4th quarter action here at Watson Stadium. Eagles have got back on the scoreboard. A 24-yard pass from Medrano to Rodriguez, his first score of the game, 44-14. Now it's under Mercy Rule, Ron, but 30-point lead for Las Cruces, but only 33 seconds remaining.
Exactly. It's kind of elementary as far as, it didn't help, but it does at least give Hobbs a boost to be able to come out here with some secondary players and be able to score against this Las Cruces team and at least kill the Mercy Rule clock.
Definitely going to be an onside kick opportunity, you would think, for the Hobbs Eagles to try to get the ball back.
Yeah, might as well. I mean, nothing to lose at this point.
Again, points scored against the district opponents could come down to some playoff implications, and definitely important for the Eagles. They're going to kick it pretty hard down the field, so they kind of change it up a little bit. The ball gets tipped at the 5 and knocked down, but brought up across the 10, 15, 20, 25, and out at the 30-yard line. The return man for Las Cruces, Jacob Miskes. And then Las Cruces have one more opportunity with the football, and looks like probably just a kneel down to finish this game with only 29 seconds remaining.
Right, that's what I'm thinking too. Don't want any more injuries than needed. And this game is pretty much out of pocket anyway, so might as well just run out the clock and accept the defeat.
Of course, Las Cruces playing all 6A opponents so far this season, and some tough ones at that. Of course, Cleveland High School, Rio Rancho, Volcano Vista. The only team that wasn't a 6A was Mayfield, who dropped down a few seasons back. Hobbs, of course, taking on the top 3 teams in the 5A, so no slouch with the schedule as well. So the victory kneel down going to be happening for Guardiola, who has gone. Actually, they had that backup quarterback in there on the last series. We'll see if that's the same guy that'll be in now. Going to be a 1-yard loss regardless.
That's Guardiola.
Is it?
Yeah.
Nope. Guardiola will take the kneel down. So that's a -1 for him. That should be it for the clock. The 15 seconds will tick off here as the Hobbs Eagles will lose this one, unfortunately, at Watson Stadium, 44-14 to drop to 2-3 on the season, 0-1 in the district. Las Cruces improves to 3-2 and 1-0 in district. So 44-14, the final, a 30-point win for Las Cruces. We'll take a 3-minute break, come back with the Hobbs Eagle postgame show live on HobbsAmerica.com and YouTube on the internet and on the radio at Cool 95.7. Welcome back to Watson Stadium. Hobbs Eagles unfortunately losing this one tonight to Las Cruces High, 44-14. That 30-point lead, or 30-point win for Las Cruces. It was mercy roll going towards the end of the fourth quarter. Hobbs able to score late off a 24-yard pass from backup quarterback Medrano to Rodriguez to get it underneath that mercy roll, but by that time it was underneath 1 minute remaining.
And it seemed like the last minute of the first half really changed the dynamic of this. It was 14-7. I know that Las Cruces was dominating a little bit, especially on the offense. Defense as well. I don't know if anything was really working right for Hobbs. I think it was more they just could not connect with their wide receivers. But nevertheless, they only had they had three first downs at the end of that first half. And it just seemed like everything that Hobbs was trying to do wasn't quite working out. They had the big bomb that helped them out a lot. But other than that, it seemed like Hobbs was struggling. Now, the defense did do their job. They had two defensive stops against this Dogs team in the red zone, not only in the red zone, but in the inside the goal line or near the goal line, and that helped a lot. But in the end, Las Cruces pulls ahead and is able to get this mercy roll victory just about with a last score coming from Hobbs to make it a 30-point difference.
Let's look at the stats in this game. First of all, as expected, Amaro definitely was the leader in terms of the rushing game. 32 carries for 230 yards in this one. Also had two rushing touchdowns of 8 and 18, and also long of 67. That coming in the first half of action. So 230 yards in this contest, had 165 at halftime. So we knew coming in he was a tough kid. He had a game, was it last week, I believe, against Cleveland, where he had 4 rushing touchdowns, only 87 yards rushing. So doing a lot of scoring, but not a lot of, triple-digit numbers or anything. But tonight, he was just all over the place at 230. Loved to go around that right end. It seemed like play after play, that's what they were doing, and getting some good blocking to the outside. So he's definitely the big-time rusher for Las Cruces. Nobody even close to him other than that. Guardiola had 5 carries for 2 yards, and a couple other guys got in. They brought their receiver in a few times, Nate Libby, on some end rounds. He had 2 for 16. Other than that, some single digits for the rushers for that. But 234, Amaro again. They ended up with 249 yards rushing in this contest for Las Cruces High. Passing department, they finished with 164 yards, 4 catches for Winnicott for 44 yards, including a 12-yard scoring touchdown. Had another catch of 12 and 11, too, so he had some pretty good receptions in this one. Libby had 5 catches for 92 yards, 2 catches for touchdowns, 35 and 23. And Amaro, coming out of the backfield, the running back, had 3 catches for 28 yards. They were 12 of 20 in the passing game for 164. A total, unofficial total, 413 yards of offense in this game for Las Cruces. They finished up with 6 penalties for 45 yards. And really the glaring numbers, the first downs, they had 20 compared to 5 for Hobbs.
Exactly, and 3 in the first half, 2 in the second half. Just Hobbs, you thought they struggled in the first half pretty badly, but the second half just struggled even more, tried to correct things and made it seem like it was worse. I think that one of the problems is Brock lost the ball and just was going back, lost it and tried to get it back, and instead it was toppled on by Las Cruces, and that just seemed like that was the indicative way the game was going for Hobbs, just everything going wrong for him. And again, it's one of those situations where if you want everything to go wrong, you don't want to do it for the season. You want to do it for a game. Unfortunately, though, it happened against this Bulldog team.
Eagles rushing offense, first of all, their leading carrier was Kennedy, 8 carries for 26 yards. His big one was in the first half where he finished up right at the end of the second quarter with a 10-yard rush right before time expired. So 26 the leader. Wright had 4 carries for 18 yards. Gonzalez coming into the fourth quarter had 3 carries for 15. Medrano, who is the backup quarterback in this one, 5 carries for 17. So those are the top rushers. Hobbs finishing up with just 65 yards, though, on the ground in the losing cause. In the passing department, Eagles went 5 of 15. Beatty, of course, caught the 80-yard touchdown pass from his brother, Braddock, from Brock Beatty, before Brock went down with the injury, the wrist injury, and didn't play the fourth quarter. French had a catch for 4 yards, and it was Rodriguez a catch for 24. And finally, last but not least, a 32-yard reception for a sub there in the fourth quarter. At least a guy that didn't get a lot of opportunities to catch balls, but he did in the fourth. And that was, I believe that was number 20 for the Eagles, Xavier Garcia, one of the wide receivers, a senior. So 5 different receivers making catches in this game. Again, 139 the total in the passing department. So Hobbs just barely got over the 200 mark in this one at 204. Penalties, not much of a situation for Hobbs in this one. They had 5 total for 42 yards, so they really cleaned up the handkerchiefs in this game. Hobbs did punt 3 times, fumbled the ball once, and had 1 interception, actually 4 punts, and fumbled the ball once and 1 interception for 2 turnovers in the game. Again, first downs 5 versus 20 for Las Cruces High. And that's it. The passing game never really was there in that game, in the contest, like we saw last week, close to 300 yards against El Paso Parkland. The running game kind of spread out with different guys getting a chance to run the football, but nobody getting past the 30-yard mark in this game. Kennedy getting close at 26, but again, the rushing game has not been consistent the last few weeks for the Eagles, but the passing game, I don't know what happened tonight, but just wasn't there at one point. Hobbs was, 0 for 10 or 0 for 8 or something like that. And
0 for 9.
And then finally some guys getting the long ball and getting Beatty being the one that pulled that touchdown in.
Right.
But few and far between in this game. Kind of a lackluster showing here at Watson Stadium against Las Cruces High, who is one of the top teams in the state, though.
Exactly. It's just everything just fell apart. They couldn't get the ball moving forward. We've always been having some troubles running up the middle, but they had a couple of plays where they're able to. In fact, I saw one that was about 6 yards. I think that was their biggest gain for run, but just for some reason, though, just could not connect early on, and even late in the game, just having some struggles. They had that one great pass. They went for 80 yards and a touchdown from from Beatty to Beatty. But other than that, it just seemed like nothing was clicking right. In the second half, though, they did get some subs in there and were able to move the ball down the field and be able to get that score to make it look a little nicer for Hobbs. But other than that, just, luckily, though, they did not stop themselves as far as penalties. So we can say that. They've improved their penalties, or they improved the smallness of the penalties. But they need to improve everything else, and I'm sure Coach Stevens is going to be talking about that for the next week.
And again, the other thing about it, too, the long sustained drives that we saw Las Cruces have running the clock, it keeps your defense out on the field for much too long of a time, and that definitely started to wear them thin. Hobbs was holding on even though they were down early in this game. I didn't let them score a lot of points on the board. In fact, it was just 7-0 after the first quarter. Las Cruces made it 14-0. Hobbs did score that Beatty to Beatty connection to make it 14-7, but then it went to 20-7, 27-7, and 30-7 as the game progressed. And after that, it was pretty much a mercy rule situation. So again, not the way you wanted to start district. And compared to last year's game, that was a 21-point differential for Las Cruces in the third quarter, and that kind of got away from the Eagles in the second half as well. That contest last year was 42-27, so a little bit reminiscent of what happened in this game, but I think a little bit closer last year as both teams got over the 400-yard mark in that contest, close to 1,000 yards of offense. Tonight, It was a double up by Las Cruces, 413 to 204.
And you got to hand it to Hobbs, at least the defense. They didn't allow 17 more points at least to come in. Because remember, Las Cruces had to kick a field goal at one point, and they were stopped twice at the line or near the line. In fact, they actually brought them back a few. Of course, I think that was also Las Cruces trying to do something different. They were running or trying to get a running start from about 3 yards back. Hobbs, on the other hand, was keying on that one and was able to stop them in the backfield every time. And so that stopped those scores from happening. Otherwise, it could have been even worse for the Hobbs Eagles.
So once again, the final score, 44-14. Eagles dropped to 2-3 on the season, 0-1 in district, and Las Cruces now 3-2 and 1-0. Next week, the Eagles on the road at Alamogordo. It's been a while since we've been to that stadium. Of course, kind of a black and gold team somewhat. And what was the last score update you had on that
The actual last score on that one is a final. Alamogordo was able to score in the fourth quarter, but not enough. It was 18-10, very low scoring affair as the Oregon Mountain Knights were able to put an end to that game and defeat the Tigers. Both teams, by the way, are 1-3, so now the Tigers are going to be coming into the game next week at 1-4, and Oregon Mountain, who we're going to be facing later on in this season, is 2-3.
Yeah, they won a game earlier this year against that St. Pius team. That was their first win in 2 seasons a couple weeks ago. And then, of course, the one you just mentioned there with Oregon Mountain winning tonight. So they're kind of on a roll. I mean, They had that player that passed away a few years ago when he got hit on the field, and that kind of, brought the program down, in terms of emotions and stuff. So, I mean, it's kind of tough to get over that, to have one of your teammates go down in battle there. But still, they're trying to get themselves back on the winning track. So what other scores what other winners tonight do we have for Lee County teams?
Well, we did finally get the final score against in Lovington. Of course, that was in Roswell against Goddard. Goddard, we thought, would be showing up and playing a tough team. Of course, Lovington is the tough team. Lovington at 4-0, Goddard at 2-2, and Lovington just manhandled them 46-6. So that was a mercy rule ending as well, with the 40-point win against the Rockets. Jal comes in, and they're still playing right now. In fact, it's Centennial JV is who they were playing against, and Jal is leading that one big time, 47-21. Just like last year, Jal just seems to have Centennial's number and seems to be able to beat them at least last 2 games. In fact, this is their second win. If they can get this one this season, they started at 0-3, and they were looking kind of bad, but they're getting back on the right track. Speaking of which, though, Eunice seemed to be on the right track. In this game, though, in Eunice, and they're facing St. Michael's, and Eunice put up 8 points in the first and have not done anything since. Now it's a 40-8 score late in the fourth quarter. Haven't gotten the actually, no, that is the final. So Eunice loses that one 40-8 against St. Michael's, and didn't expect that one either to see that one happen. You expect to see Eunice win all these games that they play, but sometimes you get vulnerable and overextend yourself.
You had the Tatum score too.
Yes, Tatum once again earlier finished up, and they came back strong against Lordsburg. They were on the other side of the state. And that final was 36-26 over Lordsburg. So Tatum once again getting back on the winning side. They're 3-2 now on the record.
So those are your scores around Lee County. I'd like to thank our sponsors of Hobbs Eagle Football on the internet, HobbsAmerica.com and YouTube, and on the radio, Cool 95.7, Eastern New Mexico University in Portales, Eunice Pump and Supply, NMR Pipeline, the Hobbs Express, Devon Energy, Forest Tire. Also, First American Bank, Lasco Construction, Miko Services, Master Plumbers, TDS, Lee County State Bank, Badger, Thriftway Grocery, The Model, Zamora's Car Care, and Ampersand Media. Again, thanks for being Hobbs Eagle sponsors this season, keeping every broadcast free on the radio and the internet. Next week, the Eagles in Alamogordo, second game of district. Pregame show at 6:40, and the kickoff at 7 o'clock again on the radio and on the internet. I'd like to thank Tiffany Stuber back at the station. For myself, Ty Friend, and Ron Gunner, thanks for being with us tonight here at Watson Stadium. We'll see you next Friday on the road at Alamogordo. Have a great rest of a weekend out there and the start of the fall season.